Sandy, listen, the man is just about to say it.
Yeah, let's everybody listen.
The USA Radio Network presents the greatest radio programs of all time.
Henry Aldrich. Coming, Mother.
The CBS Radio Workshop, dedicated to man's imagination, the theater of the mind.
This is classic radio theater.
Want to get away from it all?
The FBI in Peace and War.
Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
The unexpected.
The unexpected.
The unexpected.
Now here's your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends.
Well, comedy this hour. Harold Perry is the Great Gildersleeve from 73 years ago today, June 9th, 1946. And it may seem like it's a month early, and it is because the shows didn't run on the 4th of July. 4th of July Picnic is this episode, and we thank you for joining us on a Sunday, the 9th day of June. It is the 160th day of 2019, 205 days remaining. Before I get to this, I should explain that back in those days, radio shows only ran 39 weeks, and then they took the summer off because really you didn't have much in the way of portable radios, and people took off during the summer months. So radio listening went down, and quite frankly, the sponsors didn't want to pay for these big fancy shows. So you had lots of music shows and such that weren't as expensive to produce. Anyway, and experimental shows as well. On the 9th day of June, 1790, the Philadelphia Spelling Book by John Berry became the first book to be copyrighted in the United States. In 1856, 500 Mormons left Iowa City, Iowa, and headed for Salt Lake City, Utah, carrying all their possessions in two-wheel handcarts. In 1909, Alice Hoyer Ramsey, a 22-year-old housewife and mother from Hackensack, New Jersey, became the first woman to drive across the United States with 3 female companions, none of whom could drive a car. For 59 days, she drove a Maxwell automobile the 3,800 miles from Manhattan, New York, to San Francisco, California. I wonder if that's where Jack Benny got his Maxwell. Oh, well. That was in 1909, which I think Jack's wasn't that new. U.S. Secretary of State William Jennings Bryan resigned on the state in 1915 over a disagreement regarding the U.S. handling of the Lusitania sinking. In 1934, Donald Duck debuted in the movies in The Wise Little Hen.
Who's got the sweetest disposition? One can't guess who. Who never starts an argument? Who never shows a bit of temperament? Who's never wrong but always right? Who'd never dream of starting a fight? Who gets stuck with all the bad luck? No one but Donald Duck.
Oh, there you go. Donald Duck's music, the cartoon based on the fairy tale The Little Red Hen. In 1954, Joseph Welch, special counsel for the Army, lashed out at Senator Joseph McCarthy during hearings on whether communism had infiltrated the Army.
Now, I just give this man's record, and I want to say, Mr. Welch, that it has been labeled long before he became a member, as early as 1944.
Senator, may we not drop this? We know he belongs to the Lawyers Guild. And Mr. Cole nods his head at me. I did you, I think, no personal injury, Mr. Cole.
No, sir.
I meant to do you no personal injury. And if I did, I beg your pardon. Let us not assassinate this lad further, Senator. You've done enough. Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you left no sense of decency?
Portion of a very long exchange between Joseph Welch and Senator McCarthy. It was the beginning of the end for McCarthy, as he was censured by the Senate in December and died in May of 1957 of acute hepatitis. He was just 48. In 1959, the USS George Washington launched as the first submarine to carry ballistic missiles. In 1967, Israel captured the Golan Heights from Syria during the Six-Day War. President Johnson declared a national day of mourning on this date in 1968 following the assassination of Senator Robert F. Kennedy. Secretariat won the Triple Crown on this date in 1973. In 1978, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, opened the priesthood to all worthy men, ending a 148-year-old policy that excluded black men. On the late evening of June 9th, 1980, during the making of the film Stir Crazy after days of freebasing cocaine, Richard Pryor poured 151 proof rum all over him and lit himself on fire.
Being on fire is a weird thing because you just go, my God, I'm on fire. And you holler for, luckily I didn't breathe, inhale. Everything was exhale, like, help! I didn't ever inhale. I just yelled for about an hour, out.
Pryor taken to a hospital where he was treated for second and third degree burns covering more than half his body. In 1986, the Rogers Commission released its report on the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, and in 1999, the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization signed a peace treaty. Passing away on this date in history, the wife of Nero, Claudius Octavia. Nero passing away 6 years later. Author Charles Dickens, TV game show host Alan Ludden, who was such a very, very good game show host, a reasonable actor, but probably his best role in life was the husband of Betty White. And passing away just 2 years ago, a man who was in Ely a lot. He was in our little town here a lot because he seemed to like it here in the mountains. Adam West, who passed away just 2 years ago today. This is the birth date of composer-lyricist Cole Porter, band leader Fred Waring, guitarist Les Paul, who, with Mary Ford, did so many revolutionary things in music and in recording. Secretary of Defense and President of the World Bank Robert McNamara, singer Johnny Ace, Pledging My Love, Jackie Wilson, all born on this date in history. The funny man and quite a talk host when he does his talk shows, Jackie Mason, 88 today. Sportscaster Dick Vitale is 80. Pastor T.D. Jakes is 62. Michael J. Fox, 58. Aaron Sorkin, also 58. Johnny Depp is 56. And Natalie Portman, 38. Those some of the people who celebrate the 9th day of June as their birthday, and if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
From June 9th, 1946, the Great Gildersleeve and the 4th of July picnic. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday edition of Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station.
Do you wish you could get better sleep and maybe lose a few pounds? Maybe more than a few pounds? Well, there's this product called Calitrin that helps with both sleep and weight loss. Just listen to what people are saying about it.
I've been taking Calitrin for right about 3 months, and I've lost 24 pounds and 19 overall inches. But my sleep has improved, I have so much more energy, and I have the desire to succeed more than ever. Anyone who needs weight loss, more energy, and better sleep, this product really does deliver.
Hi, I'm Roger. Over the 3 months that I took the product, my sleeping habits are increasingly much better. I got a better night's sleep, and I just can't say enough about the product and how it makes you feel. Also, additionally lost a little bit of weight on the program as well.
Hi, this is Aronson. I take Calitrin for weight loss, and I've lost about 20 pounds, and I feel great.
Calitrin is scientifically proven to help with sleep and weight loss safely and effectively. Check it out at toploss.com. That's toploss.com.
Here's a great deal on MyPillow. When you go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, type in promo code USA, you'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for $69.98. Now that's only $34.99 a pillow. You will not get that price anywhere at retail. It's the lowest price ever offered on radio or TV. And like all MyPillow products, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, use my promo code USA.
This is a national health alert from the Healthcare Hotline. Are you on Medicare and or have private insurance and suffer from back pain? MD Topical has a solution for you. Today, you can qualify to receive a pain-relieving treatment, such as a comfortable back brace or a customized pain treatment at little or no cost. Call MD Topical toll-free now, 888-998 888-722-7225. It just takes a couple of minutes to qualify for these amazing treatments that have helped thousands of people with severe pain. Your personalized pain treatment will be delivered directly to your door. Call MD Topical toll-free, 888-998-7225, 888-998-7225, or go to mdtopical.com and get started on your road to a pain-free life. Call MD Topical toll-free, 888-998-7225, 888-998-7225, 888-998-7225.
If you enjoy our Classic Radio Theater broadcasts and want to start building a collection of your own, go to classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. There you'll find links to great classic radio collections on CD, along with links to great reading on classic radio, plus Classic Radio Theater on demand. Check out our webpage, available now at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. And enjoy. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station, June 9th, 1946, 73 years ago. The Great Gildersleeve and the 4th of July picnic.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products. For the past couple of weeks, we have been recalling to you some of the Great Gildersleeve's early experiences. Tonight, the great man wants to talk about one of the biggest days in his whole life. We give you now Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Well, sir, as long as I live, I'll never forget last 4th of July. What a day. That was the day of the first annual outing of the Jolly Boys Social Club. Come one, come all, and bring your friends. I'd been up late the night before with the committee on arrangements, and I was planning to celebrate the anniversary of the independence of our country by sleeping a little late that morning. About 7 o'clock, outside my window... Leroy!
Happy 4th of July, Unc!
Yes. There was a war on then. That was only a year ago. Can you believe it? You couldn't buy fireworks anywhere in those days. But breathes there a boy with soul so dead he can't find some way to blow himself up on the 4th? I figured I'd better get down there and see what... Leroy, whatever you're doing, stop it.
I'm not doing anything, Unc.
Don't tell me that. I've got ears. Or I did have.
I'm just blowing up a tin can is all. Gosh, it's the 4th of July.
Well, hold your fire till I can get down there. You can't deny a small boy the 4th of July. That's his day. But I still remember the time I made the mistake of carrying a 3-inch salute in my hip pocket. And my best friend sneaked up on me with a piece of punk. It was burned in my memory. I didn't want anything like that to happen to Leroy, so I got up and shaved and got dressed, put on my white Palm Beach suit and my white canvas shoes that I hadn't worn in years, and hurried downstairs. Breakfast was a rather disordered meal that day. I guess we were all a little excited. Marjorie kept jumping up and down and rushing off places. I finally told her to sit down. Marjorie, I said, for heaven's sake, light somewhere.
But I'm all through, Uncle Mort.
I don't care. Sit down. You make me nervous.
But I'm supposed to be helping Bertie make the lunch.
That can wait till after breakfast. One thing at a time here. Where's my cereal? Leroy, wipe your chin. Bertie, I'm ready for my cereal.
I'm coming.
We ought to get a bell.
Here you are, Mr. Gildersleeve. Leroy, how about you?
What's this you've given me, Bertie?
That's your... Oh, my goodness. That's the chopped olives for the sandwiches.
Olives are my favorite fruit, Bertie, but not for breakfast.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve. That's what comes from making lunch and breakfast at the same time. I only hope I didn't go and spread the oatmeal on the sandwiches.
Bertie's a scream this morning. How do you like her with that cap over her eye?
I really ought to go out there and help her.
Sit still, my dear. You'll only add to the confusion. She'll fight her way out of this.
What time are we leaving for the picnic grounds, Unky?
Well, Floyd should be coming by here for us about 11.
Floyd Munson? Are we going with him?
Yeah, he's going to get his cousin's hay wagon. We'll all ride out together. Everybody. Big excursion.
Oh, how wonderful. A hayride. I've got to run right over and tell Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall will find out. You stay right where you are.
A hayride. Oh, this is going to be more fun. Unky, I think you were a darling to arrange it. And don't you look pretty in your nice white suit? Doesn't he look pretty, Leroy?
He looks like the good humor man.
I feel like the good humor man, Leroy. Yes, sir, nobody's going to make me mad today. But don't keep trying, Leroy. Well, we had work to do that morning, but all of a sudden nothing would do. We should drop everything and hang out the flag.
Well, what's the use of having a flag if you don't hang it out on the 4th of July?
All right. So you tramp upstairs to the attic. 2 flights. Extra step. Well, you rummage around and you find the flag. Then you open the front attic window. It hasn't any sash cord, so you have to prop it up with a stick. Only you can't find a stick, so you use a coat hanger.
I'll go out in the yard, Uncle Mort, and see how it looks.
Now, Leroy, when I get out the window, you hold on to my legs.
What for?
What for? What do you think? Just hold on to them, that's all. Now, don't let go.
Okay.
No, not yet, Leroy. Wait till I get out there.
I thought you said to hold on to them.
Well, use your head, my boy. Now, you lower the flag out the window, and you square 'em part way out yourself. And then you look down. Hold on, Leroy. Oh, sure, that's the time the telephone always rings.
Leroy, telephone.
For me?
Yes, for you.
I'll be back, Unc.
Okay, oh, Leroy! You come back here. The little devil. There you are, half in and half out, straddling the windowsill on your stomach, in a Palm Beach suit that's just been cleaned and too tight. There's only one thing to do. You try to inch your way back in. There you are, teetering in space while your life hangs in the balance. And then it happens. Your elbow hits the hanger, the window drops like a guillotine. Oh, right in the back. You're pinned there like a rat in a trap, clutching at Old Glory. 4 or 5 hours pass. Maybe it's 4 or 5 minutes. You've been hollering as loud as you can, with the wind knocked out of you in your heart and your throat. And then some fool happens along and calls to you.
What you doing, Throckmorton?
Leela!
Shoot if you must this old gray head, but spare your country's flag, he said.
Leela, help! This is no joke, Leela. I'm stuck.
Oh, gracious.
Get help!
You stay right there, Throckmorton, you hear? I'll be up. Marjorie, Leroy, Bertie, everybody help!
Safe at last. Safe again in the bosom of my little family. What might have been an ugly incident was turned into a happy triumph. For Old Glory waved proudly from our attic window. We all went out front to look at it, and we all agreed that it looked just fine there.
It looks just fine there, Throckmorton, just fine.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
How do you like it, Bertie?
Mr. Gildersleeve, if I had my way, I'd leave it there all the time.
Yes, sir, it looked fine. But there were other things to do, and time was wasting, so I gave a few orders. Let's get going here, Bertie. No time to lose.
Yes, sir.
Now, Marjorie, you help Bertie with the lunch.
Okay.
Leela, I wonder if you could give him a hand.
Well, I have to dress yet, Throckmorton, but I'd be glad to do what I can.
Good. Leroy, you carry out the basket and things as they get them packed.
Me?
Yes, you.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to sit down on the porch here for a while and think about the Declaration of Independence. Well, I sat down on the swing there and lit a cigar. And I thought how different this was from other 4th of Julys I'd known. How quiet and how nice. And I thought how a man's tastes change as he grows older. Why, when I was a youngster, I lived in a world of high explosives. Dynamite caps, 5-inch salutes, red devils, Roman candles, erupting strombolis, 50-cent skyrockets. I loved them. Not anymore. Suddenly I looked down the walk, and here came a little boy that might have been me at the age of 6. Only it wasn't. It was little Craig Bullard from across the street, and he was pulling a toy cannon. I knew what he was going to say before he said it.
Can Leroy play?
Well, hello, Craig. What's that you got there?
I want Leroy to play with me.
Well, Leroy's inside right now.
Tell him to come out.
Well, he has some work to do, Craig.
I want him to come out.
Later, perhaps later. Who gave you the cannon?
My father.
Oh, that's fine. Doesn't go off, does it? Now, Craig, surely your father's told you not to aim that thing at people. Craig, what are you going to do?
I'm going to shoot you.
Now, Craig, what's that string for?
I'm going to pull it.
Don't you shoot that thing.
I'm going to pull it. 1.
Craig, do you hear me? Don't you shoot that.
2.
Look, Craig, I thought of a game.
3.
I knew it wouldn't shoot.
Hi, Leroy.
A little guest to see you, Leroy.
Oh, for corn's sake. I'll see you later, Craig. I'm busy. I have a cannon. What's that? I have a cannon. Hey, pretty neat. Let's have a look at it, Craigie, old boy. Maybe I can show you how to shoot it.
You do, and I'll shine.
Why, this is one of those carbide cannons. I pull the string and nothing happens. Well, no wonder. What you need is carbide. I've got some around in the garage. Come on. Hey, did you ever think of loading it with gravel?
Leroy?
Yeah?
No carbide, Leroy.
But it's meant for carbide.
And no gravel.
Okay, no gravel, just carbide.
And no carbide.
Okay. Come on, Craig. I know what we'll do.
What were they going to do? I sat there uneasily, wondering how little boys ever live to reach the age of 12. But pretty soon they were back again.
Leroy knocked over my cannon. I said no.
Now, wait a minute.
Leroy knocked over my cannon.
Stop it. Stop it, Craig.
Yeah, stop it, you little snitcher.
Leroy.
Well, he claims he's General Eisenhower.
Leroy, Craig's a little boy. That's no reason to get angry with him if he wants to imagine things.
I'm General Eisenhower. He's Rommel.
Yeah.
Now he wants to change sides, the dirty guy.
You must have discovered how the game comes out.
I'm going to take my cannon and go home.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I think that's a very wise decision, my boy. Very wise indeed. Rommel would have been smart if he'd done the same thing.
Well, from June 9th, 1946, The Great Gildersleeve on Classic Radio Theater. Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday. And coming back in just a few minutes, we will have the news of the day from June 9th, 1946, and the conclusion of The Great Gildersleeve from 73 years ago. Thank you so much for tuning in.
If you like getting heartburn by eating a pile of chicken wings and macaroni and cheese...
Oh, man, I'm full.
An all-you-can-eat buffet is where it's at. But if you like real excitement and winning, 7th Street Casino is definitely where it's at. Nobody does slots better than 7th Street Casino. Nobody. Text play to 313313 for $10 and free slot play. New Lucky 7 members only. Must be 21. In the heart of KCK, 7th Street Casino, where it's at.
The all-new Toyota RAV4 asks, what if? What if your ride was refined and rugged at the same time? Introducing the all-new RAV4 Hybrid. 208 combined horsepower and standard all-wheel drive make it the most powerful RAV4. Plus, with its head-turning style and breakaway speed, it's bound to change the way you think of a hybrid. The all-new RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota. Let's go places. Horsepower. Ratings achieved using the required premium unleaded gasoline with an octane rating of 91 or higher. Premium fuel is not used. Performance will decrease.
You know, one of the great things about getting a good night's sleep, you feel better in the morning. I mean, I don't care who you are. You get a good night's sleep, you feel better in the morning. And one of the ways that you sleep better is getting a great deal. And the best way to sleep better is to get a MyPillow. Well, now we can put the two of them together. You're going to get a great deal if you get the 2-pack special right now from MyPillow. If you go to MyPillow.com, you click on the 2-pack special, you will get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for the lowest price ever offered on radio or on TV. Now, you're going to love this. Just $69.98, $34.99 per pillow. You're not going to see that price anywhere else. You get a great night's sleep and the lowest price ever if you use my promo code USA. Now, when you go to MyPillow.com, the MyPillow Premium Pillow is amazing. It stays cool all night. It keeps its shape. It comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. You try it, you don't like it, return it. A 10-year warranty. And something you can do with no other pillow is you put a MyPillow in the washer, the dryer. It's like new again. You don't end up with a, dryer or washer full of mess. And it's just like new again. You fluff it up and you sleep. It's as good now as it was 2 years ago when I got my first MyPillow. Folks, I can't stress enough. This is the best deal ever on a MyPillow. All you have to do is go to MyPillow.com. You click on the 2-pack special. 2 MyPillow premium pillows for $69.98, $34.99 per pillow. The lowest price ever offered on radio or TV. Go to MyPillow.com. Click on the 2-pack special. Enter my promo code USA. That's the best thing to do. And you can shop around the website. You use that USA promo code. It's good for almost anything on the website. So go to MyPillow.com. Click on the promo code USA and get yourself on your way to the best night's sleep ever. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. We're listening to an episode of The Great Gildersleeve starring Harold Perry as it was originally broadcast on Sunday, June 9th, 1946. In the newspapers of that Sunday, some 73 years ago, these were some of the headlines. Dateline Athens, new disorders reported in Greece today in the wake of the royalist government's drastic decree providing death sentences for actions against the state, and the communists charged in a formal statement that the step could lead only to civil war. The Ministry of Public Order asserting that 198 persons, including 17 gendarmes and 3 soldiers, had been slain in armed attacks since April 1st, said roaming bands of communists had created a desperate situation in the Edessa district of Western Macedonia in new outbreaks. Dateline Rome, a monarchist leader charged today there had been fraud in the plebiscite in which Italy chose to be a republic and demanded Allied review of balloting that doomed the reign of King Umberto II. Monarchist demonstrations, meanwhile, subsided today after causing 2 deaths and a score of injuries in Naples and rioting in Rome and Palermo. Federal police said the death toll was only 2, and Minister of the Interior Giuseppe Romita declared the entire country was quiet. Dateline Newton, Iowa, more than 3,000 persons crowded into 4 churches today to attend the first quintuple funeral service in the history of Newton. The rites were for 5 high school chums who died in the LaSalle Hotel fire in Chicago earlier this week. Lined up side by side at the front of the rostrum of the First Methodist Church were the caskets of the 5 men who had gone to Chicago on a lark, celebrating the graduation of all, except one who was a junior. Meanwhile, city investigators in Chicago that's on the fire blamed it on crossed wires behind a false ceiling in the Silver Lounge off the lobby. Dateline Belfast, Northern Ireland, officials of Crumlin Road Prison said tonight that David Fleming, 27-year-old Irish Republican Army prisoner, had abandoned his hunger strike after going without food for 77 of the last 81 days. Prison officials immediately ordered a diet of brandy, milk, and glucose for the shrunken Irishman, who began his fast on March 20th as a protest against prison treatment of political prisoners. Dateline Washington, the Office of Price Administration is planning to make effective next week a price increase of 1 cent a loaf for bread. The official, who withheld his name reiterated a statement made a month ago that the forthcoming increase will apply to all kinds of bread except rye, which recently was raised a cent. He said the price of bread-type rolls will be advanced proportionately. The scheduled hike is intended to compensate for higher production costs, resulting mainly from a cut in the output of bread. The cost of bread per loaf increases when output is trimmed. Dateline South Bend, Indiana, one anonymous finder of a lost purse has set a charge of slightly less than 1% on honesty. William Stevens reported to police he lost his wallet containing $230 while watching a ball game. A little later, he reported his wallet containing $228 was stuffed in the letter slot of his door when he arrived home. Those some of the day's top news stories is reported in the newspapers of Sunday, June 9th, 1946. On your radio, some 73 years ago today, The Great Gildersleeve, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater.
Well, so it went. A few laughs, a few fights, a little excitement, and a lot of bustle and preparation. It was noon before we knew it, and the Jolly Boys were overdue. Leela had gone home to dress, and we were standing on the front porch waiting. Leroy and Marjorie and her boyfriend and I. And the wagon hove in sight.
Here it comes, Auntie. Oh, boy, look at it.
Yes, sir, it was Floyd's cousin's hay wagon with a nice bed of fresh hay. And there were red, white, and blue bows on the tails of the horses. And somebody had twined red, white, and blue crepe paper through the spokes of the wheels. Floyd's cousin was handling the horses, and Floyd sat on the seat beside him. And believe it or not, he had an accordion.
Oh, brother, is that corny? Oh, it's wonderful. Don't you love it, Marshall? Oh, Auntie, I'm so happy.
Yeah, don't jump up and down with the thermos bottles, my dear.
Whoa! Ahoy there, Commissioner!
Ahoy, Jolly Boys!
Climb aboard!
Oh, yes. Okay, let's get started, huh? There they all were. Good old Hooker, good old Peavy, good old Floyd, and good old Gates. I tell you to look at that good old wagon, all red, white, and blue, and all those fine fellows in it. Well, made you proud of your country, that's all. I'm glad there was a 4th of July.
Come on, what are we waiting for?
Yeah, come on, Commissioner. Scramble up there, Leroy.
Okay.
Up you go, Marjorie.
You're next, Gildy. Give him a hand there, somebody. Don't strain yourself, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hey!
Hold those horses there.
Whoa, now. All together, fellas.
Now, up to daisy.
Well, let's go. Get up there.
Yeah, hey, wait.
Huh?
Don't forget to stop for the girls.
Are you kidding?
Oh, take me out to the logging. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back to the room.
From Sunday, June 9th, 1946, The Great Gildersleeve. The conclusion in 3 minutes on this Sunday edition of Classic Radio Theater.
So you sit down and do your budget, and you look at all your monthly costs and your bills and your income, and it seems like there's never quite enough. You know what would really help? Finding $500 a month to help balance things out. That is the typical savings. $500 a month for a family when you switch to MediShare for your health care. And when it comes to healthcare sharing ministries, MediShare is really the gold standard. It's been around for 25 years and has more than 400,000 members. It's been around so long and grown so much because it works. And whether you're single or married or have kids, this could make sitting down to do a monthly budget a lot more fun. $500 a month can more than cover a car payment or pay back loans, whatever. So join MediShare and go out to dinner to celebrate. Here's the number to call. They are incredibly kind and helpful to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Did you know it was once considered anti-American to throw away the core of an apple? In the 1940s, there was a common poster with a picture of a beautiful child happily eating the core of an apple. The slogan read, "Be true to the core." This was a nationwide program concentrating on nutrition and discouraging food waste. Keeping our citizens strong at home was an important aspect of winning the war in Europe. American citizens are fighting the war against lifestyle disease. Research shows we must eat every edible part of fruits and vegetables to keep our bodies strong and able to fight off biological invaders that are making us sick. Much of the disease-fighting chemistry in fruits and vegetables are located in the core and skin of produce. Often we are peeling off and coring the strongest available chemistry for fighting the deadly diseases of our day. It turns out Grandma was right. Eat all your fruits and vegetables and be true to the core. This is Dr. Douglas Howard with your health tip of the week.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I used to have chronic bronchitis and all of that, but I haven't had it in a long, long time. So it's really helped my immune system. I really believe that. I mean, it's amazing.
Everywhere I go, I talk about how good these things are. My wife was very sick, and she lost 40 pounds, and she got all these wrinkles and everything else. But her face is turned around, and now she's got a red glow in her face again, and the wrinkles are disappearing. I'm very happy with you people. You've changed my whole face and my insides, and I half the time I don't need blood pressure medicine. I'm 72, and I never felt better.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. For a limited time, you can receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
Classic radio theater on your favorite station. Coming up tomorrow at this time, Raymond Burr starring in Fort Laramie, The Young Trooper, from 61 years ago. And then on Tuesday, Fibber McGee and Molly. But right now, the conclusion of The Great Gildersleeve from 73 years ago, June 9th, 1946.
Yes, sir, quite a day, the 4th of July. Everybody had a good time riding out to the picnic grounds. Leroy was up front with the driver. Marjorie and Marshall Bullard sat together, talking very seriously. Floyd was playing his accordion. Mostly requests from Eve Goodwin and Leela Ransom. Sounded pretty good. Floyd was all dressed up for a day in the country with white sports shoes. Judge Hooker had on a pair of golf knickers he dug up someplace.
I never knew the judge was bow-legged before.
That'll do, Leroy. Eve Goodwin was looking very pretty with a big straw hat on. Leela was wearing something she called a play suit.
Didn't you ever hear of a play suit, Throckmorton?
No, but I like it. What'll we play?
Oh, you.
Well, we got out to the grounds in about an hour. Nice woodsy spot besides a little stream. Quite a good deep pool at one point. We unloaded the baskets with the food. Everything was so peaceful for a few minutes.
Just pile all that stuff over here, boys, under the tree.
What about putting it out here in the open?
I prefer to have it under the tree, Floyd, and since I'm to be the chef...
Who said you were going to be the chef, Judge?
Naturally, I assumed that...
Well, just turn off your assumer. You're assuming too fast.
Yeah, I'm pretty fair-handed at barbecue myself.
I will attend to the barbecuing, Floyd.
Who said so?
What?
It just so happens, Gildy, that my recipe for barbecued frankfurters is acknowledged the best in town.
Not by me, it ain't. I got a sauce makes a hot dog taste like filet mignon.
Well, my sauce makes it taste like a hot dog.
I still say if you have any regard for our guests, you let me be the chef.
Oh, is that so? Yes. Now, wait a minute.
Fellas, is this any way to behave? Why, what'll our guests think of the Jolly Boys?
Gee, I never thought of that.
We've got an organization with a reputation to maintain. Summerfield has its eye on the Jolly Boys Club.
Chief Gates is right, fellas. I'll withdraw my claim to the chef's job.
So will I. You take it, Floyd.
No, Judge, you take it.
Oh, no.
Well, then let Gildersleeve have it.
Oh, no, not me.
Well, for heaven's sake...
You asked for it in the first place, Judge.
That has nothing to do with it.
The idea.
I've never seen it. Let's be jolly boys, shall we?
So harmony finally prevailed. We made Hooker chef, and then somehow I got stuck with the job of collecting wood for a fire. So naturally, I went looking for Leroy. I finally found him down by the creek. Leroy, put your shoes on. I want you to gather some wood for a fire.
Oh, no.
Now, Leroy.
I'm working on an important project. I can't stop in the middle of it.
What is the project?
I'm improving the swimming hole. Everybody will be grateful when it's done.
There's nothing the matter with the swimming hole, my boy. It doesn't need any projects.
Are you kidding? It isn't deep enough. I can't even get over my head.
It isn't necessary to drown to have a good time, my boy. Now put on your shoes.
Oh, please, Unc, I'll get the firewood later. Can't I just build a small dam?
Well, all right. But building a dam is harder than you think.
If a dumb animal can do it, I can do it. Gosh, a beaver. They chew down trees with their teeth and then slap the mud on with their tails.
How are you going to manage that?
Sit on it. Or maybe you could sit on it. That'd be better.
Leroy! If you're going to play in the water, put on your bathing suit. Well, I finally got Marjorie and Marshall Bullard to go out and collect firewood. They'd been mooning around with nothing to do, and they seemed glad of an excuse to go off for a walk by themselves. Of course, when they came back an hour later, they'd forgotten to bring any firewood. They didn't seem to mind going back for some more, although by that time the rest of us were getting ready to go swimming.
Say, Commish, that schoolteacher don't look bad in a bathing suit, does she?
Miss Goodwin is a lady, Floyd.
Did I say she wasn't? Ransom ain't bad either.
Are you referring to Mrs. Ransom?
Well, sure. What's the matter?
You better watch your step there, Floyd. Remember, Mr. Gildersleeve's been engaged to practically every woman on this picnic.
Now, see here, you fellas.
Only kidding, Commissioner, weren't we, Floyd?
Well, I thought so. Come on, let's go swimming.
Well, gentlemen, off for a plunge in the brook?
Phoebe! Come on, get into your bathing suit.
No, thanks, Mr. Gildersleeve. Not today.
Oh, come on, Peeve. It'll cool you off.
No, really. The fact is, I'm not much of a swimmer.
Oh, just float then. Anybody can float.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I've always had trouble floating.
Oh, there's nothing to it, Peeve. Just lie on your back and don't move.
That's what they always told me.
Well?
Every time I try it, water goes up my nose.
Well, your head must be heavier than your feet.
That's what I say.
You two? Aren't you all going in the water?
We'll be right there, Leela. We're trying to get Peavy to come along.
What, Peavy? Not going swimming?
No, Judge, not today.
Well, good way to work up an appetite, Peavy.
Well, I dare say, but the fact is, gentlemen, I promised Mrs. Peavy I wouldn't go. She has a theory it's bad to go in the water on a hot day.
That's a lot of baloney.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Not for Mrs. Peavy, anyway. Of course, right now, she's out of town.
Yeah, that's right. Come on, Peavy. Come on, fellas. Last one into the water is a rotten egg.
Aren't you going to get your feet wet?
Well, that's no way. I want to dive in.
Well, I don't think the water's deep enough, Throckmorton.
Plenty deep enough for a good diver.
You could dive off that rock, Commissioner, if you're really good.
Let's see you dive off the rock, Unc.
Well, that's pretty high.
What's the matter? You afraid?
Well, no, I'm not afraid. I'll show you, by George.
You want to see me swim underwater, Mrs. Ransom?
Can you really?
Well, just watch.
Oh, my goodness, look at Mr. Munson, Eve. He's actually swimming underwater.
Hey, girls, aren't you going to watch me dive?
Oh, my ankle.
You think it was a lobster, Mrs. Ransom? It's only me.
This.
You cut that out, Floyd.
Hey, girls, you want to see me imitate a whale?
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Well, watch. First, I float on my back, then...
Oh, he's spouting. Oh, that's marvelous.
Hey, girls, watch me. I'm going to dive.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
You better get out of the way.
Stand back, ladies. Give the man room.
Come on, Unc. 1, 2.
Don't rush me, Leroy.
Hey, girls, you want to see me stand on my head in the water? Look.
Oh, that's marvelous. Look at him.
Oh, who can't do that?
Oh, both of them. Don't they look fantastic?
Hey, girls, watch me. I'm going to dive.
Well, for corn's sake, go ahead and dive. Oh, look, Eve. Here comes Mr. Peavy. Oh, my goodness.
That long-sleeve bathing suit is hookers. Come on in, Peeve. The water's fine.
I think I'll just sit on the bank here and dabble my toes.
Come on up here with me, Peavy, and dive in.
You'll get wet faster your way, Peavy.
What'd you say, Floyd?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, do come in, Mr. Peavy. The water's lovely.
Is it cold?
It's just right. Stick your toe in.
Well, seems nice and moderate. Guess I can risk it. I'll just rub a little water on my chest and on my forehead. in my stomach.
What's that for, Peeve?
It prevents a chill.
Look at me, darn it!
I wonder if I can remember how to do a duck dive. Would you ladies care to see me do my duck dive?
Oh, we certainly would, wouldn't we?
I can't think of anything more enjoyable.
Hey, here I come!
Now you watch. When I wiggle my feet just before they go under, that's the duck's tail feathers.
Good.
Oops, there go the tail feathers.
Look out, everybody! Here I come, and this time I mean it! Oh, 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 oh!
Holy cow, he knocked half the water out of the pool.
Well, we were all having a good time in the water, but the judge made us come and eat his barbecued frankfurters. His sauce wasn't so much. I only ate 6.
You ate 7.
But I will say everybody was nice and helped clean up afterward. Even Leroy did a little work.
A little?
Leroy didn't have time to do much work because Mr. Bullard drove out and took him and Marshall and Marjorie home in his car. That's just left the grown-ups to ride back in the hay wagon, and perhaps it was just as well.
Moonlight's nice tonight, isn't it, Throckmorton?
You bet.
The moon's awfully pretty tonight, isn't it, Judge?
Yes, it is, Leela. It is indeed.
Moon's awful pretty tonight. Ain't it, Peavy?
Get away from me, Floyd.
Are you comfortable, Eve?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Comfortable, Leela?
Yes, thank you. Although the hay gets a little itchy after a while.
Are you cold, Eve?
Oh, mercy, no.
Well, couldn't you pretend you're a little chilly?
Now, Throckmorton.
I can hear every word you say, Commissioner.
Well, play your accordion, Floyd, and give us a chance.
Okay.
Floyd played some nice old songs, and Eve snuggled up to me a little. But I couldn't seem to get my mind on her. Maybe it was because I couldn't help noticing the judge kept trying to slide his arm around Leela. Leela's nothing to me, of course, but just the same, when she called over to me.
Why don't you sing, Throckmorton?
Sing? Hi, George, that's a good idea, Leela. Why don't we all sing? Come on, Floyd, something we all know.
Well, let me see. How's that?
Oh, that's just the one, Floyd.
Okay.
All together now, folks.
In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime, strolling through the shady lanes with your baby behind, hold her hand and she holds yours, and that's a very good sign that she's your Tootsie Woodsie. The good old
Yes, sir. We hope that all of you can have at least a day this summer as fine as our last 4th of July. This is our last broadcast of the season, but we'll be back again for the Kraft Foods Company on September 11th. If you look at your calendar, you'll find out that September the 11th isn't Sunday at all. It's Wednesday. So you remember that and tell your friends. Next season, you'll hear the Great Gildersleeve. That's me. On Wednesday instead of Sunday. It'll be the same network, and your local paper will give you the time and the station. I guess all the members of our cast are looking forward to their vacations. I'd like to thank every one of them for the nice times we've had together all this year. There's Louise Erickson, who plays Marjorie, Walter Tetley, our little Leroy, and Lillian Randolph, whom you know as Bertie. Getting outside the immediate family, there's Shirley Mitchell, who plays Leela Ransom, and Bea Benaderet, who's Eve Goodwin. Thanks, too, to the Jolly Boys, Arthur Q. Bryan, and Ken Christie, who are Floyd and Chief Gates. And to that not-so-jolly little boy, Tommy Bernard, who plays Little Craig. And to jolly Johnny Lang, our announcer. Yes. And, of course, with every season that goes by, we appreciate more and more our two fine old standbys, Earl Ross, who plays Judge Hooker, and Richard LeGrand, who is Mr. Peavy.
There you go. June 9th, 1946, the last show of the season for the Great Gildersleeve on Classic Radio Theater. But unlike those guys, we're here all summer long with great classic radio theater programs. Hope you will stop by and join us here. Stop by the website, classicradio.stream. There you can stream all of our classic radio theater programs anytime of the day or night. classicradio.stream. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for listening. Please thank this station, support the advertisers, and tell a friend the great radio shows are back. Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station and the USA Radio Network.
The USA Radio Network presents the greatest radio programs of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Dragnet.
This is Classic Radio Theater.
Gangbusters!
I was a communist for the FBI.
Lights out, everybody.
Now here's your host, Wyatt Cox.
Crime drama with Mr. Keen, Tracer of Lost Persons, originally broadcast June 9, 1949. The Case of Murder and the Star of Death.
Time now for Mr. Keen, Tracer of Lost Persons. Ladies and gentlemen, Amison and Colinos present Mr. Keen, Tracer of Lost Persons, one of the most famous characters of American fiction in one of radio's most thrilling dramas. Tonight and every Thursday at the same time, the famous old investigator takes from his file and brings to us one of his most celebrated missing persons cases. Tonight's case is entitled The Case of Murder and the Star of Death. Mr. Keen and the Case of Murder and the Star of Death. Our scene opens in a large and fashionable home in a New York suburb. A dinner party has been in progress. But now the three guests have gathered in the library, where the host, Mark Adams, observes with some amusement that they're all looking forward to a surprise he's been hinting about. A surprise he is soon to reveal to his regret.
Yes, indeed.
Mark.
Yes, Loretta.
What is this remarkable surprise you have for us?
Yes, what's the big secret? You've got something up your sleeve, old man.
Oh, no doubt about it, I have, Paul. As a matter of fact, that's why I invited you all to dinner this evening.
Then please don't keep us in suspense.
I shan't, Edith, my dear, but first, a prelude to my little exhibit. Loretta, you're a connoisseur of precious stones. Tell me, what's your favorite stone?
Well, Mark, I suppose most women would prefer a diamond, but I'm partial to sapphires.
Big ones.
What are you getting at, Mark?
Paul, you're as well known a collector of precious stones as I am. What would you say was the greatest sapphire in existence?
The Star of Death, of course.
Star of Death? What a dreadful name.
Would you like to see it?
You mean you have the Star of Death here?
In this box, on this table.
What?
I sold over 3/4 of my own collection of jewels to buy this sapphire from the Hancock estate, but it was worth it. See for yourself. There.
Oh, look.
Really, it's magnificent.
Oh, it's beautiful, Mark.
When I said I had a treat in store for you, I meant it. What happened to the lights?
I don't know. They just went
What
out.
could it have been? They
Put the lights on, somebody.
Well, wait, I'll find the switch. Here it is. There,
Oh.
that's better. Someone must have accidentally brushed against the wall switch and turned the lights off.
Mark, the sapphire.
It's gone. The Star of Death is gone. Very well, I can go along with the joke. Will the one who took the stone please replace it in the box on the table? Look here, a practical joke is one thing, but that sapphire's worth a fortune.
Mark,
Just a moment, Edith. Someone in this room is evidently a fool. Or a thief. But I'll give him or her a chance to save face. I'm going to put the lights out once again, and when I turn them back on, I'll expect to see that sapphire replaced inside this box, with no questions asked. Otherwise, I'm calling the police. You'll have just 5 seconds while I turn out the lights. Here goes. Remember, 5 seconds. Out!
Ah! Mark!
Let me at that light switch.
Mark! He's on the floor.
Don't touch him, Edith. He's dead.
My father had been stabbed to death with a letter opener, Mr. Keene, taken from the desk. He was murdered for that sapphire, the Star of Death.
I read about the case this morning, Kay, in the newspapers. My partner, Mike Tansey, brought it to my attention.
Sure, it was one of the strangest cases in years. All 3 suspects were arrested, boss. But the police don't know which one murdered Mr. Adams and stole that sapphire.
Where were you at the time of the tragedy, Kay?
Away for the weekend at a friend's house. Oh, Dad had only taken my advice. I begged him not to buy that sapphire.
Why were you against his buying it, Kay?
You've heard about the stone, I'm sure, Mr. Keene. Its history is horrible. That's how it got its name, the Star of Death. 3 people died while it was in their possession, all violently. Father was the 4th victim.
Tell me something about your father's guests. Who was present that night?
There was Edith Sims. Father was very fond of her. I even think there was a possibility he might have married her. He'd been very lonely since Mother died 2 years ago.
And the other guest?
Paul Dudley is a jewel importer like Father was. They were close friends. And Mrs. Loretta Waynard is a well-known socialite, a widow. She's very rich, Mr. Keene, and she'd never have any reason to steal.
And that was all?
Yes, Mr. Keene. The servants had all left for the night. No one else was there but Father and his 3 kids.
The jewel, apparently, was never found on any of them.
No, Mr. Keene. All 3 persons swear they're innocent. And, well, it's hard for me to believe that any one of them could have done a thing like that.
How does it strike you, Mike?
Well, it's a puzzler, Mr. Keene. Sure, what happened to the sapphire? It couldn't have just disappeared.
No, Mike, and yet I'm sure all 3 suspects were thoroughly searched by the police.
Mr. Keene, couldn't it have been someone else? A thief who sneaked into the house?
It's possible, Kay, but I doubt it. By the way, who described the details of the murder to the police?
All 3 of Father's guests.
And their stories were identical?
In every detail. Will you help me, Mr. Keene? I have faith in the police, naturally, but this case is so mysterious. You're the most famous investigator in the country. And if you could work with the police...
I'll try my best, Kay. And I'll also try to recover the stolen sapphire for which your father was murdered.
Oh, thank you.
I suggest you go home now and wait for my call. I'll want to look the house over. But before I do that, I think I've got an idea.
What is it, boss?
It's rather unusual, but if Lieutenant Hale of the Homicide Squad is willing to cooperate with me, maybe Mark Adams' killer will pay far more for that sapphire than he ever bargained for.
But what you're suggesting, Mr. Keene, is dangerous.
I know that, Lieutenant Hale. One of your three prisoners is a killer, but I doubt if you'll ever find out which one is guilty unless you release all three.
But what good will that do?
That sapphire, the Star of Death, hasn't been found yet, has it?
No, Mr. Keene.
Then it must be hidden somewhere.
Obviously.
Very well. Your police officers were with the three suspects from the time they left the Adams house, isn't that right?
In other words, the sapphire is still inside the house.
Exactly.
But we've searched the place thoroughly, Mr. Keene.
The murderer wouldn't have been foolish enough to stab Mark Adams to death if he or she didn't have an excellent hiding place for the sapphire.
Then how will we get the stone?
We'll let the killer find it for us and expose himself at the same time.
Sounds like a good idea if it works.
You can have the three suspects trailed by your plainclothesmen, but I prefer you wouldn't. Any slip-up would make the killer suspicious and spoil my plan.
All right. I'll go along with you, Mr. Keene, on one condition.
What's that, Lieutenant?
I'm going to station a man at all the airports and railway terminals. I don't want my pigeon to fly the coop.
I'm sure your pigeon will stay right here, Lieutenant, until he has his hands on that sapphire, the Star of Death. And when he reaches for it again, we'll have our hands on him.
This is the library, Mr. Keene. The room my father was murdered.
All right, Kay. We'll examine it thoroughly for any trace of the missing sapphire.
Well, I'll go over it with a fine-tooth comb, Mr. Keene.
Good, Mike. I suppose that heavy desk has been gone through, Kay?
At least 1,000 times. The police looked under the carpets and opened up the upholstery and the chairs. There isn't a spot in this room that hasn't been searched.
Isn't that the doorbell?
Yes. Excuse me, Mr. Keene.
Mike.
Yes, boss.
Never mind the search. After what Kay has just told me, I'm sure we'll have to wait for some kind of a break. And we may be getting one right now.
How so?
I've been expecting the murderer to make some excuse to return to his house for the stone. Let's see who's at the door.
Mr. Keene, this is Paul Dudley.
How do you do, Mr. Dudley?
Mr. Keene, this is a great pleasure, sir. I'm very glad to know you.
My partner, Mike Clancy.
How do you do?
Pleased to meet you.
Mr. Keene, Lieutenant Hale at police headquarters told me you were responsible for my release. I thought you'd be here with Kay Adams, and I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your confidence in me.
That's quite all right.
The murder was a shocking thing, and Mark Adams was my friend. But I trust the police now realize who the guilty woman is.
Oh, you believe they have the killer?
Naturally. That's the only reason they let me go, isn't it?
And who do you think she is, Mr. Dudley?
Why, Edith Sims, of course.
Oh, no. Edith Sims.
It's a horrible thing to say, I know, Kay, but I know more about Edith and your father than you do.
Just what do you know, Mr. Dudley?
I know Edith was poor, Mr. Keene, and she wanted to marry Mark. I also know he'd made up his mind not to marry again because of his daughter, Kay.
I see.
Sounds like more company, boss.
Yes, you stay here with Mr. Dudley, Mike. I'll go to the door with Kay.
This way, Mr. Keene. Is it true, Mr. Keene, that Edith Sims is being held by the police for father's murder?
No, Kay. No one's being held at the moment.
Hey, darling.
Oh, Edith.
Are you all right? I know how you must feel, dear. When your father died, everything I lived for went out of the world.
This is Mr. Keene, Edith.
Mr. Keene?
He's investigating father's death.
May I ask what brought you here, Miss Sims?
I came to comfort Kay, Mr. Keene. And I want to stay a few days, darling, here with you. We can console each other, perhaps just a little.
Of course, Edith.
That woman isn't here, is she?
What woman, Miss Sims?
Loretta Waynard.
Oh, no. No, she isn't.
Oh, thank goodness.
Why are you so relieved, Miss Sims?
Oh, did I sound relieved? I didn't mean...
Please, Edith, tell Mr. Keene everything you know. He's here to help me.
Well, I have no right to say this, Mr. Keene. But then I have no right to hold it back. I overheard Loretta Waynard quarrel with Mark Adams.
On the night he was murdered?
Yes. They were in the study just before dinner. Loretta told him she'd learned that he wanted to marry me. And she said he was out of his mind.
They must have been closer friends than I thought.
Loretta despised me, I know it. But I didn't care. It was what she said to Mark that hurt.
And what was that?
She said a man would be better off dead than married to a fortune hunter like me. Mark became angry, and she apologized, Mr. Keene.
Miss Sims, would you wait inside for me, please? Here's my partner, Mike Clancy. I want to have a word with him in private.
Come with me, Edith, dear.
Very well.
Oh, boss, Saint preserve us, another customer.
Yes, Mike, and I believe this one will be the last. The third and last guest at the dinner party where Mark Adams was murdered and the fabulous sapphire stolen. I'll open the door. You're Mrs. Loretta Waynard?
Yes. Is Kay Adams here? I came to pay my respects in her bereavement.
Please come in. My name is Keene, Mrs. Waynard.
Mr. Keene? The famous investigator? Well, this is a lucky coincidence. I'd heard you were investigating Mark Adams' murder, and I was coming to see you.
Why?
Because I know who murdered Mark. I realized it after I left police headquarters. I remembered a remark at dinner the night Mark was murdered. Paul Dudley said it, Mr. Keene, and I remember his exact words.
What were they, Mrs. Waynard?
He said he'd give anything for possession of that sapphire, the Star of Death, and that it was a jewel any man would murder for.
Did Paul Dudley know Mr. Adams had it in his possession at the time?
Why, I couldn't say, Mr. Keene. But I'm telling you the truth, and Edith Sims is my witness.
Very well. We'll give you a chance to prove it now. Miss Sims is inside, along with Mr. Dudley. Will you join them, Mrs. Waynard?
Certainly. I'm quite willing to make that statement to Paul's face.
Well, Mike?
Sure, we've got a fine jigsaw puzzle on our hands, boss.
Each one accuses another, and their stories are all equally strong. The thing to do now is to find out who's lying, Mike, and put our hands on that fabulous sapphire. And when we do, the Star of Death can claim another victim when the killer gets the electric chair for murder.
In just a moment, we'll return to Mr. Keene and the case of murder and the Star of Death. Meanwhile,
some very important messages. June 9th, 1949, Mr. Keene, Tracer of Lost Persons on Classic Radio Theater.
This is a national health alert from the Healthcare Hotline. Are you on Medicare and or have private insurance and suffer from back pain? MD Topical has a solution for you. Today, you can qualify to receive a pain-relieving treatment, such as a comfortable back brace or a customized pain treatment at little or no cost. Call MD Topical toll-free now, 877-875-5909. It just takes a couple of minutes to qualify for these amazing treatments that have helped thousands of people with severe pain. Your personalized pain treatment will be delivered directly to your door. Call MD Topical toll-free, 877-875-5909, or go to mdtopical.com and get started on your road to a pain-free life. Call MD Topical toll-free, 877-875-5909, or go to mdtopical.com.
Summer is just about here, and you know you're trying to get in shape. There's nothing more key to getting in shape and recovering from your workouts than getting deep restorative sleep, and the best way to get it is with MyPillow. Now, the offer we have right now is one of the best you've ever seen. When you go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, type in promo code USA, you'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for just $69.98, $34.99 per pillow, the lowest price ever offered on radio or TV, and better than you'll find in almost any store. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special to get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for $34.95 per pillow, the lowest price ever offered. Go to MyPillow.com, enter promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175 to get this great offer, a great night's sleep just in time for summer with MyPillow.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
When I wasn't taking it and I was waiting for my operation, I was feeling very tired. Now I'm driving like 11, 12 hours a day. I told you I manage 15 gas stations. And I have so much energy. I even gave some of my pills for my son, and he said, Dad, this is good. So I like it. I'm healing so fast. It's like amazing. My family is so surprised because my wound closing up and doing so good. So that is working now that I'm start taking my those fruits and vegetables.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. For a limited time, you can receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
June 9th, 1949, Mr. Keen, Tracer of Lost Persons, continues now on Classic Radio Theater.
Here's a marvelous new scientific discovery that actually helps prevent cavities in your teeth. Yes, actually helps prevent cavities. It's Colinos Anti-Decay Tooth Powder with ammonium ion. Greatest dental discovery since the invention of the toothbrush. Discovered by a great Midwestern university, this scientific ingredient reduces the lactobacilli bacteria in the mouth to help prevent harmful tooth decay. New Colinos is the first world-famous dentifrice to offer ammonium ion and retain its pleasant minty flavor and popular price. Neither this new Colinos powder nor any other ammonium ion dentifrice is a cure-all, but your dentist will tell you that in most cases, new Colinos, correctly used, reduces tooth decay, reduces the number of cavities. Think what that means to you and your children. Fewer fillings, less pain, less trouble. Above all, healthier teeth. And healthier teeth mean a cleaner mouth, more pleasing breath. Wonderful new Colinos is dentist recommended, dentist approved. So do as your dentist tells you. For brighter teeth, sweeter breath. Yes, and for fewer cavities, get new Colinos Anti-Decay Tooth Powder. Now back to Mr. Keen and the case of murder and the Star of Death. The murder of Mark Adams, a prominent jewel merchant, brings Mr. Keen, the great investigator, and his partner, Mike Clancy, on the trail of one of the cleverest jewel thieves in the country. For Mark Adams was murdered for the Star of Death, a fabulous sapphire that Mr. Keen believes has been hidden inside the Adams home by the killer. Now, the three people who were with the victim at the time of his death are in the house, along with Kay Adams, the victim's daughter. And as Mr. Keen and Mike gather them together in the room where Adams was murdered...
We seem to have reached an impasse in the mystery of Mark Adams' death, ladies and gentlemen. All three of you are under suspicion of murder.
How can you
Just
say
a
that?
moment, please. Mr. Dudley.
Well, Mr. Keen?
You told me a few moments ago that, in your opinion, Edith Sims committed the crime.
Oh, how could you say such a thing of me?
You loved him, Edith, and he refused to marry you.
That isn't true.
Mr. Dudley is also among the accused.
You mean someone says that I'm the murderer?
Loretta Waynard.
Why, I'll...
Take it easy, Mr. Dudley. The boss wants me to keep this conversation on a friendly level, so to speak.
And lastly, Mrs. Waynard joins the list of suspects.
What? Who could have blamed me for it, Mr. Keen?
I did, Mrs. Waynard.
Edith, you.
I overheard what you said to Mark. You told him he'd be better off dead than married to me. You loved him, too, and you were furious because he loved me.
How dare you say that? How dare... Mrs. Waynard.
Tripped over the rug, Mr. Keen.
She struck her head against the floor. She's unconscious.
Would you carry her inside, Mr. Dudley? I'll call a doctor.
No. I'll be all right. I don't need a doctor.
She's coming around.
Better see that she rests for a few minutes anyway.
Here, let me help you, Mrs. Waynard. In spite of what you said about me, I'm not angry with you.
Help her in here, Paul.
All right, Kay.
There's a studio couch in this room.
Mike, I just noticed something.
What was it, boss?
Just before Mrs. Waynard tripped, I saw Paul Dudley bending over the desk looking at something.
Well, there's nothing on that desk but a blotter and a pen, Mr. Keen.
Wait. Don't examine it now. I think someone's coming.
Kay Adams said there was some water out here, and I thought Mrs. Waynard... Oh, here's a pitcher on the table.
How's she feeling, Mr. Dudley?
A little better. Oh, by the way, Mr. Keen, I'm remaining here in the Adams home for the night. I live upstate, and the next train is very late. Kay Adams has offered me a room.
I see.
Excuse me.
Well, that's two of them, boss. Miss Sims made an excuse to stay here, and so is Paul Dudley.
June 9th, 1949, Mr. Keen, Tracer of Lost Persons. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater. We continue in 4 minutes on your favorite station.
What's Wisconsin Dells all about? Well, it's all about water slides. It's about roller coasters, too. Lazy rivers, dump buckets, wave pools, it's all about those. What about amphibious duck tours? Definitely about those. Live shows? About those. Go-karts? About those, too. Family tube rides? It's about time I mentioned those. Jet boats? How about it? Think that's about it? Not even close. Making the most of your family vacation. Wisconsin Dells. That's what it's all about. Go to wisdells.com and plan your trip today. Where do grown-ups go in the water park capital of the world? Well, go to a water park. You'll find one nearly everywhere you go. Go relax in a cabana. Go golfing. Going for a nice dinner? Oh, go for the special. Go for the weekend. Heck, why not go for the whole week? Go to a show. Go shopping. Go tour a winery. Wow, we're really on the go. Say, I could go for a beer. Need a day at the spa? Go for it. Wisconsin Dells. It's go time. Plan your grown-up getaway at wisdells.com.
You know, one of the great things about getting a good night's sleep, you feel better in the morning. I mean, I don't care who you are. You get a good night's sleep, you feel better in the morning. And one of the ways that you sleep better is getting a great deal. And the best way to sleep better is to get a MyPillow. Well, now we can put the two of them together. You're going to get a great deal if you get the 2-pack special right now from MyPillow. If you go to MyPillow.com, you click on the 2-pack special, you will get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for the lowest price ever offered on radio or on TV. Now, you're going to love this. Just $69.98, $34.99 per pillow. You're not going to see that price anywhere else. You get a great night's sleep and the lowest price ever if you use my promo code USA. Now, when you go to MyPillow.com, the MyPillow Premium Pillow is amazing. It stays cool all night. It keeps its shape. It comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. You try it, you don't like it, return it. A 10-year warranty. And something you can do with no other pillow is you put a MyPillow in the washer, the dryer, it's like new again. You don't end up with a, dryer or washer full of mess. And it's just like new again. You fluff it up and you sleep. It's as good now as it was 2 years ago when I got my first MyPillow. Folks, I can't stress enough. This is the best deal ever on a MyPillow. All you have to do is go to MyPillow.com. You click on the 2-pack special. 2 MyPillow premium pillows for $69.98, $34.99 per pillow. The lowest price ever offered on radio or TV. Go to MyPillow.com. Click on the 2-pack special. Enter my promo code USA. That's the best thing to do. And you can shop around the website. You use that USA promo code, it's good for almost anything on the website. So go to MyPillow.com, click on the promo code USA, and get yourself on your way to the best night's sleep ever. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of Mr. Keen, Tracer of Lost Persons. It is the case of murder and the star of death, as it was originally broadcast June 9th, 1949.
Miss Sims made an excuse to stay here, and so is Paul Dudley.
I'm also quite sure that Loretta Waynard will be too ill to go home this evening.
That makes 3 suspects, all trying to stay here in the house where that sapphire is hidden.
Come over to this desk again, Mike. I want to see what interested Mr. Dudley a moment ago.
Well, it's a very fancy desk, sir. Look at the leather covering.
It's kept in place by nail studs. And one of those studs seems to be loose. Yes, this is the one Paul Dudley was...
Mr. Kane, when you touch that nail head, a secret panel opened in the side of the desk. Look.
Yes. And look what it contains, Mike.
Saints preserve us. It's the sapphire, the star of death.
The most magnificent jewel I've ever seen. We'll take possession of it for the time being, Mike, and close this secret panel again. Don't say a word about this to any of them. As far as they're concerned, the sapphire is still missing.
Sure, and one of them's going to get a surprise, boss.
That's what I'm counting on. That secret panel in the desk is an ingenious contraption. It must have been specially made for someone.
Well, do you think Mark Adams had it made, Mr. Keene?
No. If he'd known about that secret panel, he'd have looked there the moment the jewel was missing.
Well, then who could have known?
The desk's original owner. Mr. Adams probably bought it from someone else.
Well, his daughter Kate knows, sir.
Possibly, but I don't want to ask her in front of the others. I'll wait for an opportune time.
Are we staying here for the night?
Everyone else seems to be. We may as well join them.
Well, what's the next move, Mr. Keene?
We found the Star of Death, Mike, but we still have to find our killer. Frankly, I think I can almost do that now, but let's wait for overwhelming proof. And I wouldn't be surprised if we obtained that proof tonight.
Mr. Keene!
Shh, not so loud, Kay. I hope I didn't waken you.
No, I've been trying to read. Are the others asleep?
Apparently, all but Mike Clancy and myself. He's in the library waiting for me.
What is it you want, Mr. Keene?
I didn't get a chance to talk to you alone, otherwise I'd have asked you this before. Where did the furniture in this house come from? Did your father buy it himself?
No, it came with the house when we bought it.
How long ago was that?
2 years, Mr. Keene.
And who sold it to you?
Father never told me. I was in school in Switzerland at the time.
Where's the deed to the house? That would give the person's name.
Why, the deed must be in Father's safe.
And where's that?
In Father's study. Do you want the combination, Mr. Keene?
If you know it, Kay.
I do. Left 1, right 6, left 4, right 9.
I just jot that down. All right, Kay.
What are you going to do, Mr. Keene?
I'm going to put my hands on your father's murderer.
Mr. Keene?
Yes, Mike? Put the lights on here in the study.
Did you get what you were after, boss?
I have it right here. The deed to the house with the seller's name on it. Everything seems to have worked out according to my suspicions, Mike, but there's one more thing we have to do.
What's that?
It's going to throw a scare into a few innocent people, but it's the only way to get final proof. You go upstairs, Mike, knock on every bedroom door, and spread an alarm that the house is on fire.
Boss, are you joking?
No, Mike, I'm serious. Don't behave as if anyone's life is in danger at the moment. Just say the fire's in the cellar and they have plenty of time to leave. Then tell them that the fire has burned the telephone wires and that I've left to get the fire department.
And where will you really be, Mr. Keene?
I'll be in the library waiting for the killer to recover that sapphire, the Star of Death.
Now, take it easy, folks. There's nothing to get alarmed about. Mr. Keene's calling out the fire department.
Well, let's get out.
All right, now. Come on, this way out.
I'll put the lights on, Mrs. Waynard, so you can see that secret panel a little better.
Mr. Keene!
I was expecting you to drop by for the sapphire.
Don't move, Mr. Keene.
I see you've got a gun.
You planned this. There isn't any fire. You tricked me, Keene.
I began to suspect you this afternoon, Mrs. Waynard, when you tripped and fell at the psychological moment. While you were shouting at Edith Sims, you saw that Paul Dudley was interested in the desk. He noticed that loose nail head by accident, the one which opened the secret panel, and you distracted his attention and mine by falling suddenly and pretending to be hurt.
So I did, Mr. Keene.
Secondly, I found this deed. You were the one who sold this house and all the furniture in it to Mark Adams, so naturally you must be the one who knew about the secret panel in that desk. When you murdered Adams, you knew you would be searched for the sapphire you stole, so you hid it there.
I sold Mark Adams this house because I lost my money, Mr. Keene. And I'm the kind of a woman who needs lots of it to live.
He paid you quite a sum for this house, according to the deed.
$150,000. But I'm used to having millions, Mr. Keene.
You must be quite a gambler to get rid of it so fast.
Yes, I love to gamble on anything. A roulette wheel, a race horse, or the turn of a card. I also like to live the way a woman of breeding is accustomed to live. That's why I wanted that sapphire.
No woman of breeding I ever knew was a cold-blooded murderer, Mrs. Waynard.
The Star of Death isn't inside that secret panel, Mr. Keene.
I know it isn't.
Which means you have it.
Perhaps.
Turn it over to me. I'm not playing games now, Keene. You'll either turn that sapphire over to me or you'll get a bullet in your head.
How would you get rid of the sapphire? A stone that size?
Stop stalling for time. I want that sapphire now.
Do you?
I'll count to 3. If you don't place it on top of that desk, I'll kill you. 1, 2...
Drop the gun. Drop it fast before I...
Oh, you put a bullet in my wrist.
Lucky you didn't get one in your heart.
For a moment, Mike, I thought you wouldn't return in time.
I wouldn't have missed you if I'd had the chance.
I know that. Mike?
Yes, boss.
Put in a call to Lieutenant Hale at police headquarters.
Okay, Mr. Keene.
Tell him we've managed to repay his patience and cooperation by solving this case. Say we found the Star of Death and the woman who murdered for it, and he can have them both at his convenience.
And so Mr. Keene finds the solution to the case of murder and the Star of Death. Mr. Keene, Tracer of Lost Persons, is based on the novel Mr. Keene. The radio sequel is originated and produced by Frank and Ann Hummert. Dialogue by Lawrence Clee. It is on the air every Thursday at this time. We thank William Podmore, who appeared tonight as Mr. Keene for Bennett Kilpack, who's taking a short vacation on doctor's orders. Don't miss Mr. Keene next Thursday when the kindly old tracer turns to the African blowgun murder case.
June 9th, 1949, Mr. Keene, Tracer of Lost Persons on Classic Radio Theater.
Do you wish you could get better sleep and maybe lose a few pounds? Maybe more than a few pounds? Well, there's this product called Calitrin that helps with both sleep and weight loss. Just listen to what people are saying about it.
I've been taking Calitrin for right about 3 months, and I've lost 24 pounds and 19 overall inches. But my sleep has improved. I have so much more energy, and I have the desire to succeed more than ever. Anyone who needs weight loss, more energy, and better sleep, this product really does deliver.
I'm Roger. Over the 3 months that I took the product, my sleeping habits are increasingly much better. I got a better night's sleep, and I just can't say enough about the product and how it makes you feel. Also, I additionally lost a little bit of weight on the program as well.
Hi, this is Aronson. I take Calitrin for weight loss, and I've lost about 20 pounds, and I feel great.
Calitrin is scientifically proven to help with sleep and weight loss safely and effectively. Check it out at toploss.com. That's toploss.com.
So you sit down and do your budget, and you look at all your monthly costs and your bills and your income, and it seems like there's never quite enough. You know what would really help? Finding $500 a month to help balance things out. That is the typical savings, $500 a month for a family when you switch to MediShare for your health care. And when it comes to healthcare sharing ministries, MediShare is really the gold standard. It's been around for 25 years and has more than 400,000 members. It's been around so long and grown so much because it works. And whether you're single or married or have kids, this could make sitting down to do a monthly budget a lot more fun. $500 a month can more than cover a car payment or pay back loans, whatever. So join MediShare and go out to dinner to celebrate. Here's the number to call. They are incredibly kind and helpful to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Tired of overpaying for the little blue pill? What if you could get the exact same results for just a fraction of the price, guaranteed? Well, now you can with sildenafil, the active ingredient in the blue pill. With 20 milligram generic sildenafil tablets, you get the exact same results for less than $2 per pill. And again, the results are guaranteed. That's right, absolutely guaranteed results for a fraction of the cost of the little blue pill. So give your wallet a break and call us toll-free at 800-362-6091 to get your generic sildenafil delivered discreetly to your door. And of course, while saving hundreds of dollars, you'll also be saving time by saying goodbye to those long, embarrassing pharmacy lines once and for all. Again, just call 800-362-6091 and get your generic sildenafil with a 100% money-back guarantee. Getting your pills doesn't get any easier or cheaper than this, so call 800-362-6091 now.
Let's go from Mr. Keene to Jerry Browning. Calling all detectives, Paul Barnes plays all the voice roles you'll hear in this episode of Calling All Detectives from June 14th, 1948, The Restaurant with No Customers.
Calling all detectives. Suppose you visited a restaurant, found no menu, no waiters, no customers. Yet you knew it made fabulous profits. What kind of a racket would you look for? That is the problem on this page from my casebook. The casebook of Jerry Browning, private detective. Even though I, Jerry Browning, have been a private detective for 10 years, every now and then I get a case that floors me. Banking Associates Incorporated is a loan company so big that it specializes in lending money only to people who don't need it. Its executive director is Vaughn Ryerson, who has the ingratiating personality of a snake oil salesman, combined with all the kindliness of a bear trap. He said, "Close the door." Ryerson leaned back.
"Here's your assignment, Browning. Auguste Escobier owns a restaurant on Morley Street. His statement shows he's making big money. Wants $70,000 to open a downtown branch. Ever eaten his place?"
Well, no, sir. I never even heard of it. Ryerson said,
"Neither did I, till he came in here. Can't imagine how he makes that kind of money. Look into it."
Escobier's restaurant was in an outlying section, the first floor of a modest brownstone house. It had no sign. The way I found it was by peering in and noting the tables. There were less than a dozen tables in the place, only 2 of them occupied. I sat down and waited. About 20 minutes later, a stout, middle-aged man walked up to me.
"You are waiting for somebody?"
"Not somebody, something. I'd like dinner." The man looked perplexed, pulled out a chair, sat down at my table. He said,
"I am Escobier."
There was a long, unhappy silence. Finally, Escobier said,
"You are hungry, maybe?"
I said, "Yes, I am. Very hungry." Escobier's face lit up.
"Fine, so am I."
He got up.
"Come, we will go out for dinner together."
The head of an industrial loan company hired me to check up on a restaurant owner who offered to take me out for dinner. I said, "Look, Mr. Escobier, this is supposed to be a restaurant. Don't you serve meals?" Escobier said,
"There is no selection, and it takes too long. If you are hungry, come with me."
Well, now I've heard everything. Okay, let's go. A tall, important-looking man got out of a sporty-looking convertible that had pulled up in front of the building just as we reached the sidewalk. He called, "Hey, Escobier, wait a second." Escobier said,
"Excuse me a moment."
"Now, see here, Escobier, don't think you can hold me up. I'll give you $100,000 for your place. Take it or leave it. $110,000 is my top price." Escobier took my arm.
"My friend and I are about to dine. It is bad for the digestion to talk business before dinner. And in any case, I do not wish to sell."
We'd walked about half a block before I found my tongue. I said, "That man, he offered you $110,000 for your dinky restaurant?" Escobier smiled.
"Yes, foolish, isn't it?"
"It isn't foolish, it's insane. Anyway, where are you taking me?" Escobier said,
2 Harry's hamburger. Hamburgers, my favorite dish. So easily prepared.
I wrenched my arm free. Mr. Escobier, I just remembered. I've got important business to attend to. The next morning, I made my report to Ryerson. I said, Escobier's place must be a front for some other kind of business. Now, I can't imagine what. I told Ryerson about the purchase offer I'd overheard. Ryerson frowned.
Well, it doesn't seem logical. If he's running an illegal business, how can he expect to get a loan to build a branch restaurant?
Ryerson shook his head.
I consider this an unsatisfactory report, Browning. Your services are no longer required.
I got up. Okay. I never did like working for you anyway. Well, that's one way of alienating people and losing clients. I went back to my office, got out the folder labeled Banking Associates Incorporated, and flung it into the wastebasket. Then I sat down and brooded. The more I thought about Escobier and his weird business, the madder I got. Not because I'd been fired by a well-paying client, but because I couldn't figure out what the thing was all about. Finally, I picked up the phone, dialed a number. Hello, Madge. Jerry Browning. How would you like to have dinner with me tonight? You would? Fine. I'll pick you up about 7. And if we wind up with hamburgers, don't be too surprised. When we entered Escobier's place, it looked much like the night before, except that tonight only one table was occupied. 2 women were sitting alone at it, though it was set for 4, and there were 4 cocktails on the table. Neither the women's escorts nor Escobier were any place in sight. I said to Madge, honey, there's something funny going on. You stay here while I look around. If you hear any peculiar noises, run out and holler for cops. I walked back toward swinging doors that obviously led into the kitchen and entered a kitchen straight out of a chef's dream of paradise. There were 6 spotless small ranges set against a wall. There were tables with burnished steel tops all set with an array of carving tools and cooking gadgets. On the walls hung scores of pots, pans, skillets, racks, utensils of every size and shape, all gleaming steel and aluminum, all spotlessly clean. On the other wall, there was a huge icebox with glass doors, and inside it, steaks, chops, trussed-up chickens, turkeys, roasts, sections of ribs, all arranged with an artist's eye for pattern. 2 men were working with grim concentration, each at a range, each in a white apron and tall chef's cap. And sitting in a corner, reading a magazine, was Escobier. He glanced up, recognized me.
Oh, you are not so hungry tonight. You have decided to cook your own dinner?
I took another look around. The 2 engrossed men at the ranges, at Escobier's twinkling eyes. So that's what it is. You let amateur cooks come in here and prepare their own meals. Escobier smiled.
For a price. It is of necessity a high price. There is so much experimentation.
I licked my lips. Oh, brother. I always did want to try a souffle, and this is my big chance. Escobier said,
Yes, and no dishes to wash. That I do.
Well, that's all there was to the mystery of Escobier's success. He capitalized on every man's secret belief that he can cook rings around any woman, given everything he needs, plus a free hand. It cost me a client to find it out, but it's a loss I've never minded. Like I said, man can't live by bread alone, but if it's bread he baked himself, he is generally willing to try. Listen next time to Calling All Detectives. Mystery drama, mystery quiz, and a chance for you to match wits with yours truly, Jerry Browning, Private Detective.
Paul Barnes has all the voices you just heard. Calling All Detectives, June 4th, 1948 on Classic Radio Theater.
Here once again is Bob and Ray's Agriculture Director and head of the Lackawanna, New York Field Station, Dean Archer Armstead. Dean, would you come in just a little bit closer?
Hello, Mr. President. I've just been going through this farm over there.
Been quite some time since
very
we saw
well
you.
chagrined and perturbed to bring to with something that never believed. And It's utterly fantastic to me. It's something that fits
The Old Farmer's Almanac. Well, they predict...
That's what I'm talking about. The Old Farmer's Almanac. It's just for public.
Well, that's why you're here. That's what I mean.
And
we want to discuss just what you think of the winter ahead from an agricultural standpoint.
Several methods, of determining what type of winter you can expect.
Several methods, yes.
Expect. How about when you can expect?
To detect what kind
of...
Expect.
And I believe the one method is where you check the brand on the woolly bearing. And there's another method where you just check conclusively with the Farmer's Almanac.
Yes, well, a lot of people...
I just do not go 100% along with the Farmer's Almanac. I predict the weather of a very cold winter.
You have your own prediction to make then, in other words.
I predict we're going to have a general open winter with snow and ice, and we'll have a general cold weather. But I just don't believe we should go wholeheartedly into Farmer's Almanac.
Well, how do the woolly bears feel about it?
Well, it's the same, because the woolly bears are very determined climate.
That's somewhere the other day. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I just, we're going to go on the blue end, and it just is another horse of another color.
Well, in other words, they seem to be undecided themselves. Okay.
I just feel it's
Well, thank you, Dean. I think maybe this has been an eye-opener in a way to people who have been worrying about the winter, and I want to thank you for coming all the way down.
I just want to say this. The winter's already we're going to have right into spring.
Okay. Dean Archer Armstead, ladies and gentlemen.
There you have it, Bob and Ray on Classic Radio Theater. Please visit my website, classicradio.stream. I'm so lonely. Classicradio.stream. There you can still stream our Classic Radio Theater podcast, learn more about classic radio collecting, and contact me. There you go, classicradio.stream. Our podcasts are also available through iTunes, Spreaker, the iHeartRadio app, even through Spotify. And all you have to do is search for 4 magic words, USA Classic Radio Theater, and there you go. Classic Radio Theater, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Wyatt Cox. Would you do me a favor? Thank this radio station, support the advertisers, and as always, tell a friend the great radio shows are back. Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station and the USA Radio Network.
The USA Radio Network presents the greatest radio programs of all time.
Suspense. Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Dragnet.
This is Classic Radio Theater.
Gangbusters!
I was a communist for the FBI.
Lights out. Everybody.
Now here's your host, Wyatt Cox.
Larry Thor as Detective Randy Clover. Broadway is my beat. This episode originally broadcast June 9th, 1951, the Earl Lawson Murder Case.
Broadway's my beat. From Times Square to Columbus Circle, the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world.
Broadway's My Beat, with Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover.
When the rumor gets around that summer has begun, Broadway is beside itself with glee. Somebody notices the sunlight and tells somebody else, and the word gets around. It drifts cross town, and a man reaches into his closet for a hand organ, puts the funny hat on his monkey, and takes a walk up to Broadway, just to grind out background music for the big grin. It's the time for the dachshund, and the silken ankle, and the flowered print dress. The orange juice is sweeter, the Knish is lighter. The guy runs down the street screaming, "I'm in love." It's June. And it was June under the Translux, too, a rare day. And the Times Square crowd had gathered there to consider it and take the story of it home to the little woman, Dad and Mom. There was a man lying in the circle of their feet. He was expensively dressed.
He's dead, Danny.
What happened, Muggavan?
Come on, you people. Break it up. Come on, get going. What is it with them, Danny?
What happened?
How can you tell what happened? People milling around, crossing streets, going to lunch, looking at the want ads over there in the Times building. Suddenly a guy's face down on the pavement. Somebody laughs, drunk, and somebody sees blood. So we got him on the pavement and them watching.
Stabbed.
Yeah.
Know who he is?
Uh-huh. Here, wallet. Loads of identification.
Yeah. Earl Lawson, Park Avenue. Earl Lawson.
Earl Lawson, stocks and bonds. He's got a name. Wizard or something. Makes money by the buckets.
Anybody see it happen?
1 million people in Times Square, high noon. Nobody saw anything. Nobody. Now, look, you people, why don't you move along? Go home. Get out of here.
Safest place in the world to kill somebody, Muggavan, in a crowd. Walk up to him, stab him in the back, keep walking. Well, it started off to be a pretty day.
Yeah, real sunny.
Just across the street, the file of crowd waiting for the movie that was better than life held on close to its place in line. Held on close against the insinuating whisper of the violent dead. It was a trick, kid. A trick to make you lose your place, to cheat you out of a front row seat where love and beauty and other high-class things are handed you on an air-conditioned platter. But a few were sold by the whisper and were drawn by it, and joined the cluster attending the dead man. A woman pushed her way close and turned away. She opened her purse, smeared a lipstick nervously across her lips, studied their reflection in a window, and then carefully retraced them with the perfumed scarlet. And death had raised its banner on Broadway. The home of the murdered man was a place whose sounds had been geared down to the soft purr of wealth. The swish of the ankle-deep carpets, the flute-like trills of the parakeets taking the noonday sun in exclusive cages. The butler who murmurs you into the library and asks you to wait quietly. You don't dare open a book because turning a page would release a clap of thunder. And finally, when you'll wait no longer, the soft voice at your shoulder.
I'm glad you made yourself at home, Mr. Clover. This is a difficult house to do that in.
It's quiet, you can say that for it. You're...
Harlan Lawson, Dr. Harlan Lawson.
Oh, then the book's on this shelf.
My one literary effort. All 20 copies. 20 copies of the same drivel. New Freedom, Pennsylvania, the utopia that failed. Nice binding, though, wouldn't you say?
Quite. Expensive.
That's my brother. He's everything you say. He gave me those when I got my Ph.D. Made a grand gesture of binding my doctor's thesis and burying it 20 times over on this shelf. Every time he fingers the gold lettering, I tell him how grateful I am.
You don't get along, you and your brother?
We suffer each other. Let's put it that way. He has his world. I have mine.
And your world would be?
The back alleys of poverty. You see, I'm in the nature of a failure, Mr. Clover. I'm a social worker. Doesn't pay very much. But I take in tears and give in exchange baskets of fruit, my brother's castaway clothing, and the gestures of sympathy they taught me in post-grad humanities.
But you keep on living here with your brother, with Earl Lawson.
I exist here. Is this why you came, Mr. Clover? To run your hands over my brother's library? To probe into me? Or is it... No. Don't say to me Earl has somehow run afoul of the law. Don't say it, because I wouldn't believe it of Earl.
He's dead. He was murdered.
Your manner of saying it. You leave me nothing but to believe you.
He was stabbed, left lying on the street in Times Square.
He must have shuddered that it found him in a place like that. I'd swear he shuddered.
Your brother dies, and that's how it hits you?
To each his own way, Mr. Clover. You're implying that it was I who killed him?
Let's play it that way for a while.
I've dreamed the wish sometimes, but I couldn't have killed Earl. I slept the morning through. Earl's butler will testify to that. He was serving me brunch when you came in. Expensive brunch with wine.
Who else would want your brother dead?
Besides me? That would be your thesis, wouldn't it, Mr. Clover? I suggest the scholar's approach...
Yeah, thanks. I'll try. Then back to headquarters and to the desk. Get on the phone, make inquiries, send out to the newspapers for files, read them, digest them, extract them. Start a file of your own. Label it Earl Lawson Homicide. Fill out the form. Date of birth, hour of death. Murder by sharp instrument to be filled out in detail by the coroner. And on the lines on the bottom of the page, the incidental information. Jot down the phrases. A self-made man. Shrewd financial mind. Known enemies, probably many due to financial manipulations. Send out for coffee and the sandwich because it's suddenly nighttime. And read some more. Then your door opens and Sergeant Tartaglia is all business.
Lady to see you, Danny.
What does she want?
She knows who killed Earl Lawson.
What?
She says
Bring her in.
This way to see Danny Clover, ma'am.
Thank you. My name is Peggy Drake, Lieutenant.
Please sit down. Close the door, Tartaglia. All right, you can stay. Miss Drake, the sergeant said you know...
Not exactly.
Danny, she told me she knew all about it. She said...
What's on your mind, Miss Drake?
I have the murderer's picture. Here it is.
Yeah. How'd you happen to take this picture?
Well, I'm here on vacation. This afternoon was a good day to take pictures, and I was at Times Square. I took a lot of pictures, and, well, this is one of them. You can see for yourself.
Yeah.
I found a store with 6-hour developing service, and I got them developed. I was looking through them, and I saw this one. That's why...
Yeah. Come here, Tartaglia. Look at this.
Ray Brewer.
That's right, Ray Brewer sticking a knife into Earl Lawson on Times Square. Call records, Gino. Get the last known address on Ray Brewer. And anything else they've got interesting.
Guess I did help with that.
I don't know how much.
Records?
This man here with a knife.
His name is Ray Brewer.
A known hoodlum. A record of every misdemeanor on the books.
Yeah, I got a pencil.
Wait till my society back home hears about this. I belong to the Literary Society. We have open
What
forums.
else?
I suppose this will be in the papers, won't it?
What else?
Front page, probably.
What else is what else? Yeah, what's happened to him lately? Uh-huh.
How you making out, Gino?
In a minute, Danny. Uh-huh. Yeah, I got all that. We appreciate it, and thank you. Very interesting, if I may comment on the material gathered from records.
What's interesting?
Up until a week ago, Ray Brewer was confined to the county hospital for incurables.
Yeah, I remember he was a pretty sick man. Incurable?
His heart. Docs gave him a month to live. But last week he was discharged from the hospital.
How come?
To die in the bosom of his family, as the records guy phrased it.
Where is this family?
1212 West 16th, the man says. Where you going, Danny?
See that Miss Drake gets home, Gino. I'm going to pick up a killer. Open up, Brewer, or I come in anyway. Brewer? Where are you, Brewer? Huh?
Out here, Danny. Taking my ease on the fire escape, watching you. Watching you spill out your strength.
Throw away the gun, Ray. They tell me you've got a month. If you throw the gun away, maybe you can live a part of it out.
All of it. It's arranged. I live all of it. 30 days, Hathaway Brewer.
If I come out after you, Ray, it'll cut your time down to a half minute.
You make me shake with fright. Stay where you are, Danny. I'll bring it to you.
The gun, Ray.
Now, don't drool, kiddo. You'll get it. Funny, when you rang the doorbell, I thought it was a boy from Milford's, but no, it was you. How come you find me so lightning quick, Danny?
A girl, a visitor, got your picture sticking a knife into Lawson.
I never could learn to be camera shy. Poke a camera in my nose, I smile for all birdies. Turn your back to me, Danny. I feel a new smile coming on.
Listen to me.
You don't turn your back, you bleed in the face. Turn. You did that, you brought sunshine into my short life. One for the road.
It splintered through me, puncturing, ripping into the dark cells where pain lay waiting for it. Being released, scurried, darted through me. opening endless doors on endless hurt. These new ones took over. Finally, gave up because they'd overdone it. I couldn't feel it anymore. And then the hall wind cold on the sweat that had drenched me. And looking for Brewer, knowing he wasn't there, and calling to headquarters and tell them to put out an all-points bulletin on Ray Brewer. And then to Park Avenue to ask a question. Why had Brewer wanted Lawson dead? What had Lawson been to a hoodlum like Brewer?
Help me. In my back. It's in my back. Help me. You didn't help.
Down the long hall, I could see the parakeets preening, pecking into their clipped wings. The new stillness of the man lying there with a knife in his back. Dr. Highland Lawson. Dead. The nap of the thick rug furrowed where his hands had tried to tear life out of it. And suddenly the flute song of the parakeet started again. And it wasn't still anymore.
You are listening to Broadway's My Beat, written by Morton Fine and David Friedkin, with Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover.
June 9th, 1951, Broadway is My Beat on Classic Radio Theater.
So you sit down and do your budget, and you look at all your monthly costs and your bills and your income, and it seems like there's never quite enough. You know what would really help? Finding $500 a month to help balance things out. That is the typical savings, $500 a month for a family when you switch to MediShare for your health care. And when it comes to healthcare sharing ministries, MediShare is really the gold standard. It's been around for 25 years and has more than 400,000 members. It's been around so long and grown so much because it works. And whether you're single or married or have kids, this could make sitting down to do a monthly budget a lot more fun. $500 a month can more than cover a car payment or pay back loans, whatever. So join MediShare and go out to dinner to celebrate. Here's the number to call. They are incredibly kind and helpful to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Summer is just about here, and you know you're trying to get in shape. There's nothing more key to getting in shape and recovering from your workouts than getting deep restorative sleep. And the best way to get it is with MyPillow. Now, the offer we have right now is one of the best you've ever seen. When you go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, type in promo code USA, you'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for just $69.98, $34.99 per pillow, the lowest price ever offered on radio or TV, and better than you'll find in almost any store. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special to get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for $34.95 per pillow, the lowest price ever offered. Go to MyPillow.com, enter promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175 to get this great offer, a great night's sleep just in time for summer with MyPillow.
Do you wish you could get better sleep and maybe lose a few pounds? Maybe more than a few pounds? Well, there's this product called Calitrin that helps with both sleep and weight loss. Just listen to what people are saying about it.
I've been taking Calitrin for right about 3 months, and I've lost 24 pounds and 19 overall inches. But my sleep has improved, I have so much more energy, and I have the desire to succeed more than ever. Anyone who needs weight loss, more energy, and better sleep, this product really does deliver.
Hi, I'm Roger. Over the 3 months that I took the product, my sleeping habits are increasingly much better. I got a better night's sleep, and I just can't say enough about the product and how it makes you feel. Also, additionally lost a little bit of weight on the program as well.
Hi, this is Aronson. I take Calitrin for weight loss, and I've lost about 20 pounds, and I feel great.
Calitrin is scientifically proven to help with sleep and weight loss safely and effectively. Check it out at toploss.com. That's toploss.com.
June 9th, 1951, Broadway is My Beat. The Earl Lawson Murder Case continues now on Classic Radio Theater.
eyed mannequins are dusted off, brought out of Broadway's basements, propped up on a rod, and arranged tenderly at the side of last year's groom mannequins. And Broadway knows June is passing through. It presses its nose against the shop window, sighs at the cascade of white satin flowing slowly over the wax figure, sheds a tear at the coronet of cloth lilies of the valley, and blows its nose for the sweetness of it all. It's the time of youth, the 2-week romp in the Catskills, the burial in the sand at Far Rockaway, the breathless ecstasy on the heights of the roller coaster at Coney. And for the stay-at-homes, other sweets, other delights, the subway ball games, the band concerts in the mall, the moon-burned girls in the dark grass, and the my hand in your hand talk about 2 brothers dead of knife wounds. Summertime talk. At headquarters the next morning, it was difficult to talk about anything because Sergeant Tartaglia had his mouth full of tacks and his fist full of hammer. Building something, Gino?
Oh, it's you, Danny. Yeah, you might say I'm building a sight for sore eyes.
Oh? You mind if I look?
Well, my pleasure. Pardon me for obstructing your view.
Oh, nice.
I think so also. A pin-up picture of Mrs. T hammered to the door of my closet. This I consider a worthy hobby.
Mrs. T?
I call Mrs. Tartaglia that whenever I'm in a hurry. Consider her, Danny, in her Catalina swimsuit, Jones Beach underneath her, the Tartaglia progeny forming a garland of angels at her feet.
Ah, nice family picture, Gino. You mind taking the tacks out of your mouth now?
So's I can tell you about Ray Brewer, huh?
So's you can do that.
Naturally. Permit me to close the closet door on Mrs. T first. I don't want every Tom, Dick, and... well, nothing on Brewer, Danny. The hoodlum killer is still at large. All points bulletins have been sent.
Nothing, huh?
Bread and butter, there is something. I forgot. The Milfords, of which the hood spoke to you, is Milford's haberdashery on Madison Avenue. Patrolman Curcio traced it down after thousands other Milfords. It seems...
I'll check it.
Well, don't go away, Danny. I got something else.
Another pinup?
You might say that. Remember that Peggy Drake came in here with the snapshot of Brewer killing Lawson?
What about her?
Precinct 12 picked her up last night running down East 60th Street in her, you should excuse the expression, negligee.
What? Was someone running after her?
The precinct boys asked her the same question. She said no. She said she dared herself to do it, and she took the dare. So the boys decided on a small fine and let her go.
A lonely girl in the big city, sometimes it hits them that way. All right if I leave now?
You always leave me, Danny. I'm used to it. Go, Danny.
Good morning, sir. Is someone helping you?
I'm looking for Mr. Milford.
Mr. Milford is dead.
What?
12 years ago. Like that. Zoot! He was discussing plans with a buyer and...
I know. Zoot. Who are you?
Mr. Milford, Jr. May I be of some service?
I'm from the police. I want some information.
Oh, what is it you want?
The police department called you a while ago. You said you had some dealing with a man named Ray Brewer.
Oh, yes, I did. I did indeed.
You want to tell me about it?
I don't see why not.
Then tell me.
Surely. Last week, Mr. Brewer entered Milford's and was fitted for a complete outfit, from linens to huaraches.
Huaraches?
Bootery a la Mexico. Mr. Brewer was going to Mexico. Note that I said was. Note that.
Mr. Brewer changed his mind, huh?
Well, that's a man's right. Mr. Brewer decided to stay around the city. Thus, he canceled the Mexican clothes and ordered town wear. Gabardines.
And he paid you? I only ask because it's been bandied about that Mr. Brewer is not a wealthy man.
His friend paid me. The friend who was with him when first he ordered.
This friend? Here, this man's picture in the newspaper?
The very one. Dreadful clothes. Not ours. Is he from here in town? What's his name?
It says right here, Harlan Lawson.
Ph.D. It says this chap was murdered.
That's right. Do you have any idea why Mr. Brewer changed his mind about going to Mexico?
None. He was so delighted, too, the first time he was in here. Showed me a travel brochure put out by the airplane people, Central American Lines, I think. I've been to Mexico, you know, ridden on a donkey.
Thanks, Junior. Thanks a lot.
be of service to you, senor?
I think so. I'm from the police, Danny Clover.
Oh, my privilege. You wish to tour Central America to observe our police methods? It can be easily arranged. I will speak to the Latin consul.
I just want to know about Ray Brewer.
Brewer? The name has a familiarity. Si, Senor Brewer. The man who wished to live out his days in Mexico, the land of tradition and romance.
He's a murderer. You think you'll make it?
What a dying man sets his heart to do is difficult to restrain him from, senor. This from my father, I learned. But Senor Brewer will not make Mexico by way of Central American lines, senor. Of this I am certain.
Tell me why.
Because only yesterday he canceled the ticket it took me so long to prepare. He canceled the tour I had mapped for him.
June 9th, 1951, Broadway is my beat, the Earl Lawson Murder Case. The conclusion comes up in just 4 minutes. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for joining us for Classic Radio Theater.
Where do grown-ups go in the water park capital of the world? Well, go to a water park. You'll find one nearly everywhere you go. Go relax in a cabana. Go golfing. Going for a nice dinner? Oh, go for the special. Go for the weekend. Heck, why not go for the whole week? Go to a show. Go shopping. Go tour a winery. Wow, we're really on the go. Say, I could go for a beer. Need a day at the spa? Go for it. Wisconsin Dells. It's go time. Plan your grown-up getaway at wisdells.com. Where do grown-ups go in the water park capital of the world? Well, go to a water park. You'll find one nearly everywhere you go. Go relax in a cabana. Go golfing. Going for a nice dinner? Oh, go for the special. Go for the weekend. Heck, why not go for the whole week? Go to a show. Go shopping. Go tour a winery. Wow, we're really on the go. Say, I could go for a beer. Need a day at the spa? Go for it. Wisconsin Dells. It's go time. Plan your grown-up getaway at wisdells.com.
You know, one of the great things about getting a good night's sleep, you feel better in the morning. I mean, I don't care who you are. You get a good night's sleep, you feel better in the morning. And one of the ways that you sleep better is getting a great deal. And the best way to sleep better is to get a MyPillow. Well, now we can put the two of them together. You're going to get a great deal if you get the 2-pack special right now from MyPillow. If you go to MyPillow.com, you click on the 2-pack special, you will get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for the lowest price ever offered on radio or on TV. Now, you're going to love this. Just $69.98, $34.99 per pillow. You're not going to see that price anywhere else. You get a great night's sleep and the lowest price ever if you use my promo code USA. Now, when you go to MyPillow.com, the MyPillow Premium Pillow is amazing. It stays cool all night. It keeps its shape. It comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. You try it, you don't like it, return it. A 10-year warranty. And something you can do with no other pillow is you put a MyPillow in the washer, the dryer, it's like new again. You don't end up with a, dryer or washer full of mess. And it's just like new again. You fluff it up and you sleep. It's as good now as it was 2 years ago when I got my first MyPillow. Folks, I can't stress enough. This is the best deal ever on a MyPillow. All you have to do is go to MyPillow.com. You click on the 2-pack special. 2 MyPillow premium pillows for $69.98, $34.99 per pillow. The lowest price ever offered on radio or TV. Go to MyPillow.com. Click on the 2-pack special. Enter my promo code USA. That's the best thing to do. And you can shop around the website. You use that USA promo code, it's good for almost anything on the website. So go to MyPillow.com, click on the promo code USA, and get yourself on your way to the best night's sleep ever. Thank you so much for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of Broadway is My Beat, starring Larry Thor, the Earl Lawson Murder Case, from June 9th, 1951.
Cancel the tour I had mapped for him. Acapulco, Zapateca, the floating gardens.
When Brewer came in here to arrange his trip, was he alone?
With another gentleman who subsidized the excursion.
This one? In the newspaper picture?
See, this one. Dr. Lawson, a gentleman of refinement. Now dead, I perceive.
Yeah. Brewer didn't give you an address by any chance?
Oh, no. He simply took the cancellation money, told me he preferred your city. As who would not?
You peddle tickets to romantic places and you like it better here, huh?
Who would not? Why pay extra fare, senor? Romance is where you find it.
Danny?
Oh, come in, Muggavan. Sit down.
Oh, nice.
Got anything?
Nothing. Guy Brewer's hiding someplace. Where, I can't even begin to guess. Nobody knows anything. Stool pigeons, old friends of Brewer's, not a thing.
If he gets out of the city, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. How do you figure it, Danny?
Figure what?
This, the case, the killing of the Lawson brothers. You know what I mean.
You piece it all together, it comes out easy.
Show me.
Sure. Harlan Lawson wanted to get rid of his brother.
For money?
Well, maybe. But more than that, I think. Earl Lawson was a man who beat up the world. Harlan just stood there and cried for it.
Well, Harlan was a social worker, Danny. He probably did a lot of good where it counts.
Sure he did. But I met Harlan. It's the way he impressed me, Muggavan. He felt sorry for himself.
Uh-huh. So he finds a little hood like Brewer, hires him to kill Earl.
Like you said. Harlan was a social worker. Brewer was in a charity hospital. That's where they met. Harlan found out Brewer only had a month to live, promised him a fling that month in Mexico for killing Brother Earl.
Well, then why did Brewer turn around and kill the hand that fed him? If we go on the assumption that he killed Harlan, too.
Well, Brewer killed twice, all right. The knife in Harlan matches the stab wound in Earl. He killed both brothers.
But why?
I don't know why he killed Harlan. Another thing I don't know is why Brewer changed his mind about going to Mexico. If we found that out...
Danny, all I can say is, thank goodness.
Let's say it and sit down in a corner. Muggavan and I were discussing
It's about Peggy Drake.
Peggy Drake? Say, isn't she the girl?
Yeah, the girl who took the snapshot.
She should have taken a snapshot and left the city.
What?
Just a few minutes ago, at 5 until midnight to be specific, she had a to-do with a cab driver. Tried to force him to take a wardrobe trunk in his back seat. Broke a window while so forcing. Quite a scene. The police suggested a moving company. And
what?
Well, give me a breathing spell, Danny. And Officer Padyunik suggested his father-in-law and stood guard over the trunk until his father-in-law, the Murphy Movers, hauled it away. Thank jeepers this girl leaves for her hometown of New Freedom, PA in the morning.
Where?
New Freedom, Danny. The trunk has already left by Murphy Trucking Company, and the girl, Peggy Drake, leaves tomorrow, for which leaving the police only again waved a finger under her nose.
Highway Patrol, Muggavan, pick up that van. Escort it back to Peggy Drake's place.
Right there.
What do you know? So that's why Brewer changed his mind about going to Mexico. Then I waited. It was a little less than an hour when the phone call came. The Highway Patrol had picked up the van at the entrance to the Delaware Bridge. There was plenty of time. Time to grab a bowl of chili and walk over to the 60s, into the rooming house where Peggy Drake was staying. Inside, the banisters of the staircase had been worn smooth by 1,000 respectable hands, and the color had just begun to drain from the flowers in the wallpaper. On the third-floor landing was a trunk. Beside it, Detective Muggavan.
She's in there, Danny.
She know we're here?
We talked loud. She knows.
Stay with the trunk, Muggavan.
Okay.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Clover. Glad you're here. Come in. Please, come in. What goes on in your town? I don't understand you people.
Something wrong, Peggy?
There was all that noise a little while ago. I opened my door a bit. I saw my trunk. Explain it to me, Mr. Clover.
You were sending it back to New Freedom, huh?
Of course, where I live, where I came from.
That's where you met Harlan, wasn't it?
What's he got to do with it? I need some sleep, Mr. Clover. My bus leaves early tomorrow.
You're not leaving. You want to bring your trunk back in here and unpack?
I'm not leaving.
Wait a minute. Muggavan, bring that trunk in here.
What are you doing? I don't have to unpack.
The trunk's pretty heavy, Danny. I'll need some help.
Okay. I'll give you a hand.
Yeah. You better grab the handle on the other side. Okay, Danny?
Uh-huh. Wait outside.
Yeah.
I wish you'd tell me what this is all about.
How long did you plan to stay in New York, Peggy?
4 days.
You needed a trunk that big for a 4-day trip? That's a brand new trunk, Peggy.
Yes, I just bought it. It's for things I want to take home. Books, lamps.
Books, huh? I like books. Let's see what you bought.
Don't open that! Don't!
Why not, Peggy?
Leave me alone. What's the girl have to do? I come here for a good time.
I'd say you had quite a busy trip. Running down the street at night in a negligee.
I had something to drink. I didn't know what I was doing.
Then creating a stir with this trunk with a cab driver.
It wasn't my fault. People here aren't helpful.
Peggy, we're looking for a man, Ray Brewer. We want him for 2 murders.
Brewer?
You know him, Peggy. You took his picture, brought it to me.
Oh, that's right. I remember his name.
I'm sure you do. Let's open the trunk, Peggy.
No. Don't. Get it out of here. Take it away.
Later. You took the picture, Peggy, because you knew the murder was going to be committed. The murder you planned so well with Harlan.
Get it out of here. Just get it out.
Gave us a picture of the murderer. You figured by the time we found who he was, traced him, he'd be roaming around Mexico. By the time we got to him, he'd be dead. Because Ray Brewer only had a month to live.
I didn't do anything. I didn't kill anybody. It was Harlan.
One thing was bothering me, Peggy. Why Brewer changed his mind about going to Mexico.
He saw me taking his picture. We didn't tell him we were going to do that.
You double-crossed him, huh? That's why he killed Harlan. That's why he was going to kill you.
I ran from him. It's like a nightmare. Somebody grabbed me by the shoulders and choked me. And I was in the middle of the street. Dressed.
When you finally got back here, Ray Brewer was dead. He didn't live his month. His heart gave out. Let's open the trunk, Peggy. There he is. Ray Brewer.
I won't look. I'm not going to look at him again. All the while I was putting him in there. Staring at me. Staring. And I couldn't get the trunk closed. His hand. I was alone. All alone. His face. Staring at me.
Dawn touches Broadway now. The remnants of the night are driven back into the earth. You walk the streets, and from behind a doorway you hear the old sound, the sound of weeping. You know the nighttime will never leave. It's found its refuge. It's Broadway, the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world. Broadway, my beat.
Broadway's My Beat stars Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover, with Charles Calvert as Tartaglia and Jack Crucian as Muggavan. The program was produced and directed by Elliott Lewis, with musical score composed and conducted by Alexander Courage. In tonight's story, Peggy Weber was heard as Peggy Drake, Ted Osborne as Harlan Lawson, Anthony Barrett as Ray Brewer, and Don Diamond as Milford.
June 9th, 1951, Broadway is My Beat on Classic Radio Theater.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I'm loving my Balance of Nature. Since I started, I have not gotten one cold. I kind of fight everything. I get a little tickle, but it goes away.
It's just amazing, the difference I felt. I want you to know how much I appreciate the counseling and so forth and your attention to your people. I have been a pretty big advocate for the Balance of Nature. I don't know how many truck drivers have asked me, how in the heck do you keep going at 88, 89 years old? I said, Balance of Nature. If they want to really enjoy some good health, get on Balance of Nature.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. For a limited time, you can receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
This is a national health alert from the Healthcare Hotline. Are you on Medicare and or have private insurance and suffer from back pain? MD Topical has a solution for you. Today, you can qualify to receive a pain-relieving treatment, such as a comfortable back brace or a customized pain treatment at little or no cost. Call MD Topical toll-free now, 877-875-5909. It just takes a couple of minutes to qualify for these amazing treatments that have helped thousands of people with severe pain. Your personalized pain treatment will be delivered directly to your door. Call MD Topical toll-free, 877-875-5909, or go to mdtopical.com and get started on your road to a pain-free life. Call MD Topical toll-free, 877-875-5909, or go to mdtopical.com.
Tired of overpaying for the little blue pill? What if you could get the exact same results for just a fraction of the price, guaranteed? Well, now you can with sildenafil, the active ingredient in the blue pill. With 20 milligram generic sildenafil tablets, you get the exact same results for less than $2 per pill. And again, the results are guaranteed. That's right, absolutely guaranteed results for a fraction of the cost of the little blue pill. So give your wallet a break and call us toll-free at 800-362-6091 to get your generic sildenafil delivered discreetly to your door. And of course, while saving hundreds of dollars, you'll also be saving time by saying goodbye to those long, embarrassing pharmacy lines once and for all. Again, just call 800-362-6091 and get your generic sildenafil with a 100% money-back guarantee. Getting your pills doesn't get any easier or cheaper than this, so call 800-362-6091 now.
Close out this hour with some laughs with The Couple Next Door, June 9th, 1959.
The Couple Next Door, written by Peg Lynch and starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Betsy, if you don't stop dawdling over your breakfast, you're going to be late. The school bus will be here.
Daddy, may I have a Tyrannosaurus?
For breakfast?
Oh, Daddy.
Well, I don't think it'd be very good for you. Do you, Mommy?
Oh, no. Besides, I don't think I have any on hand. I'm all out.
Any what? What are you all talking about?
A Tyrannosaurus, Aunt Effie.
A Tyrannosaurus, Aunt Effie. It's a prehistoric dinosaur. And where, young lady, did you ever hear of a Tyrannosaurus?
Johnny has one.
For a pet?
Oh, no, Daddy. You're so funny. They aren't alive anymore. They lived a long time ago.
Oh, I see. How long ago?
I don't know. Before I was born. Did you ever see one?
Well, no.
Did you dare?
A bit before my time, too. Just a bit.
My goodness. I don't know where she picks up all these long words. I've never even heard of it.
Honey, what do you mean you want one?
It comes in a box, a lot of bones, and you glue them together. Johnny Elwin was doing one. He has a Brontosaurus, but I want a Tyrannosaurus. I want to glue it together for a science exhibit.
All right. If you want a Tyrannosaurus, you may certainly have one.
Will you help me glue it together tonight?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. Have you seen those things? About 100 bones.
If Johnny Elwin can do it, my daddy can do it.
Oh. There. That is what I call loyalty. By golly, you get your dinosaur, young lady, and tonight we will glue him together. An increase of 13.2% over April 1958. Our sales for
I don't know what you're doing, dear, but I'd like to remind you that you promised Betsy you'd help her put that thing together this evening.
What? What thing?
That dinosaur, whatever it is.
Oh, look, I can't tonight. No, I've got this work from the office.
She has to turn it in tomorrow, the science exhibit. Each class turns in science exhibit.
Well, I can't help it. I
Darling, you promised her this morning, if you recall.
Well, I forgot about it. I'm sorry. I just can't do it.
She's all ready to do it. She's put papers on the dining room table as I asked her to do so you two wouldn't get glue all over, and she's out there waiting for you.
Well, look, I've got...
You promised. You promised. I went out of my way to go downtown and buy the thing today. Of course, I don't think you would have promised if you'd seen it first. It is so complicated. You are
complicated, I can do it in no time if it's just a matter of gluing things together. It isn't that. It's just that even an hour when I've got so much to do.
An hour? You're going to put that together in any hour, I'll tell you that.
Who isn't?
You aren't. You should see it. In fact, I don't see how Johnny Elwin did it at all. He's only 9 years old.
Are you implying that I can't do something a 9-year-old can do? Look, my daughter's got more faith in me than you have.
Well, I'm sure you can do it, but you're not going to do it in any hour, I'll tell you that.
Daddy, are you going to help me?
Oh, yeah, I sure am, sweetheart. Coming right away.
Would you like Aunt Effie and me to help?
No, thank you. I'm sure Betsy and I can manage without any help. Can't we, Betsy, huh?
Well, they don't need us, Aunt Effie. Should we play some Scrabble?
Well, I'd like to watch this if you don't mind.
Oh, no, don't mind at all. Now, let's see. Where are the bones for us scientists to glue together, huh?
Right here, Daddy.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. All those?
Yes, dear. All those.
All right. We'll do it. Where do we start?
Now, I would say the best way to start is to read the directions.
Here they are, Daddy.
Oh, for the love of Mike. What, this is for kids?
It isn't hard, Daddy. Johnny Elwyn did it. All you have to do is follow the directions.
All right.
And keep the newspaper on the table. I don't want that cement glue all over.
The bones are numbered, Daddy.
Yeah, well, that's good. Now, let's see. Step number 1, assemble the right leg, cement the right toe, number 2, and the left toe, number 3, to the center toe, number 1. Then cement the hind toe, number 4, into the left toe, number 3. Then cement the, tibia, number 5, into the fibula, number 6, and cement this unit to the femur, number 7.
Don't look at me. Come on, Aunt Effie. I think we'd better just leave the two scientists alone.
Oh. What do you mean I'm not doing it right?
I mean, you're not doing it right, Daddy.
What is going on out here? What's the matter?
Look at the way Daddy has that glued. He's doing it all wrong.
Aren't you following the directions?
Certainly I'm following the directions.
You aren't following them right, Daddy.
What?
He's got those 3 bones glued together in a row.
For heaven's sakes, is this all you've done? In an hour?
Now, look, there's enough confusion around here. Well, without your getting into this...
Daddy, now look. The tibia glues onto the fibula, side by side, not in a row the way you got them.
Now, look, if you want me to help you...
She seems to be helping you.
Yes. My goodness, how do you know so much about the tibia and the fibula, Betsy?
That's the way Johnny did it.
Well, if Johnny knows so much about it, why didn't you get him to help you?
Because he can't. This is my project, Daddy. I'm supposed to do it myself.
All right, then you better do it yourself. You don't seem to like the way I'm doing it,
Now,
anyhow.
don't be cross with her.
Well,
anyhow, I think she's right. Look at the picture. Tibia's joined side by side to the fibula. That's the way the bones are in our legs, too, dear. I suppose a dinosaur's leg was the same way as ours, don't you imagine?
I have no idea how a dinosaur's leg was, and for that matter, I don't even know how ours are.
Well, you learned that in school, didn't you? The main bones of the body, didn't you remember?
Well, I don't remember.
Why do you get so cross when you do things like this? You
Look,
really
I've
do.
never done things like this before. This is my first experience in putting together a Tyrannosaurus. I can't believe this was put out for children. It needs an archaeologist to do it.
This isn't archaeology, Daddy. The study of fossil bones is called paleontology. That's what Johnny said.
Wait a minute. Who is this Johnny?
Oh, you know Susie Elwyn down the road that Betsy played with. Johnny's her brother. Very bright boy.
9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't like to say anything, but it is 8:30. Isn't it Betsy's bedtime?
Oh, heavens, yes.
Oh, Mommy, please let me stay up later. I have to hand this in tomorrow. It has to be done, and I ought to stay up and help Daddy.
Look, your daddy doesn't need any help now. He can certainly glue a few bones together. But I can't see that if this is your entry in the science exhibit that your father should be doing it for you.
You don't have to do it for me, Daddy. I just need an assistant.
An assistant?
It's all right to have an assistant. Every paleontologist has an assistant.
Honestly, that child.
What's so funny?
Oh, nothing, dear. You just surprise Aunt Effie sometimes.
Well, Susie and I were Johnny's assistant when he put his brontosaurus together.
Yeah, all right. Well, okay, let's get at it.
Let's get at it. It is 8:30. She has to go to bed.
I have to hand it in tomorrow, Mommy.
You certainly must have known some time ago that you had to have a project to hand in. Why did you wait until the last minute?
Now, take it easy. I did the same thing when I was in school. I always waited until the last minute myself, and I stayed up all night doing
Was
it.
that good?
Well...
Just because you did it? I do not approve of it at all. She knew she had a project that was due. Now, it seems to me Betsy ought to learn early not to put things off.
Well, look, she did put it off, and then
Well.
she's got to hand it in, so let her stay off this once and we'll get it done. What do you say? You sure it's got to be in tomorrow, Betsy?
Yes, I know it does.
Well.
Oh, please, Mommy, please, let me stay up longer.
Now, you can't resist that. Look, we started it. We might as well finish it.
No, she has got to learn to do things when they should be done and not wait until the
now
last
look,
minute.
look,
No.
Just this
No.
once, huh? Just this once. How about it?
Well, all right.
You and Nephi can help, Mommy. Then I'll have 3 assistants, just like they do in the museum.
You may stay up 1 more hour, and that is all.
Well, let's get busy. Now, what can I do?
You can start on the vertebrae, Nephi. I'll show you.
Well, let's see. You know, this business of waiting until the last minute, when you know that you have something that has to be done, Betsy.
All right.
Well, she's got
never
to
mind.
learn.
All right, she's learning. Now, let's get going. Come on. Now, cement the right section of the neck ribs to the neck vertebra, being careful not to...
Well, this certainly can't be right. It doesn't fit.
Yes, that's right, Mommy. See? Cement the right ilium and the left ilium into the sacrum. You've got it upside down. Turn it over.
Well, I don't know what these are. They seem to be 2 little claws.
Those are the little front legs there, Nephi. Tyrannosaurus had 2 little legs that fit onto the rib part here. See? Like the picture. This fastens to the scapula. Just glue it right on there, Nephi.
11:30. I never realized it was so late.
I'm not tired at all, Mommy.
You get up to bed. I never realized. Go on, right this
Come
minute.
on,
Go
Betsy.
Go
I'll
on.
go with you. Come on, dear. You can get up early.
Anna Slate,
Golly.
11:30. What's the matter with you?
You know, it was only yesterday, it seems to me, that we were so thrilled when Betsy was saying Mama and Dad. Now here she is, rattling off things like paleontologist, ilium, scapula. I don't even know what a scapula is. Where's the dictionary?
All right,
No, I
dear,
tell you, it
never
gives you a
mind.
funny feeling when your own child knows something that you don't know. Furthermore, I could see that she thinks we're all dumber than that Johnny Elwyn.
Well, dear, I know. Children nowadays seem to have access to so much more information than they did when we were little. Books, programs, you
Look, at
know.
9 years old, my main interest in life was playing marbles and winning all the Steelies away from Stinky Davis.
Well, they say having children's a second education.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we better pick up some books so we can keep up with her.
Keep up. We better get ahead of her.
I don't think that's possible, honey. You must remember, children never think their parents know anything.
Yeah, I guess not. Let me see. Scapula.
Oh, don't bother with that. Now let's get to bed ourselves.
S-C-A.
Lock the door and turn out the lights now. We'll have to
Yeah. All right, I'll be up in a minute. Scapula. Hey, you know what it is?
What?
Your scapula is your shoulder blade.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
How about that? Yeah, for heaven's sake.
The Couple Next Door is written by Peg Lynch and stars Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce with Margaret Hamilton and Francie Myers and is produced by Walter Hart.
June 9th, 1959, The Couple Next Door on Classic Radio Theater. Visit the webpage, if you would please, at classicradio.stream, where you can hear our podcasts anytime on demand. classicradio.stream. I'm Wyatt Cox. Thanks for listening. Thank this station, support the advertisers, and tell a friend the great radio shows are back. Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station and the USA Radio Network.